to speak on the subject matter. But Honorable Speaker, before I speak, I would like to welcome the delegation from the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet. Honorable Speaker, prior to joining this parliament, I served in the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet from the year 2013 to 2022 as the legal counsel to the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet. So, Honorable Speaker, I learned a lot from the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet, and therefore I welcome the delegation. Honorable Speaker, that is my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. Makali Mulu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me join the honorable members and yourself in welcoming this delegation from our colleagues from Africa. Honorable Speaker, I want also to single out two of those colleagues who we serve together in the CPA EXCO Africa region. That is Honorable Kasuto from Namibia and Honorable Christopher Kalila from Zambia. So most welcome to Kenya once more. Honorable Speaker, this caucus is doing a good job for this country and also for the rest of Africa and internationally, and we wish them well as a house. The only thing we can do is we support the caucus, which is led by my colleague, Honorable Mule, and more so provide resources for eradication of TB, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mother Wangari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also join my colleagues in welcoming the delegation and also congratulating Honorable Mule for his consistency in the fight against TB. And Mr. Speaker, this is also part of the SDGs. We recently held the high-level political forum in New York on SDGs. And SDG 3 of good health and well-being, this is part of it. And more importantly, Mr. Speaker, TB in children is very hard to diagnose. And by the time it is diagnosed, it's usually very late. They are being treated for several other ailments and not TB. So it becomes fatal, yet it can be prevented and it can be treated. So I want to encourage the team to continue and for all of us to support the caucus in the fight against TB in the country, in the globe, and even in this continent. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome the Global Caucus on TB. Honorable Speaker, Africa indeed is one of the places where this disease is very prevalent, and mostly because of our crowded neighborhoods, especially those in urban areas and peri-urban areas where there are slums and people live in very abhorrent conditions, and therefore such communicable diseases become very easy to spread. Honorable Speaker, as I welcome them, let me make a commitment that in September, when the UN high-level meeting is convened in New York, the President of the Republic of Kenya will join other presidents in supporting the fight against TB in the world. Honorable Speaker, we are a nation that has against TB and other communicable diseases, but also in ensuring that there is universal health care in this country. And as I welcome them, we commit also as members of the National Assembly and the Parliament of Kenya to support this caucus in the fight against TB. And of course, there is a very good nexus between the prevalence of TB and HIV/AIDS. I hope all these things through the caucus will be able to articulate them, and I welcome them to the Republic of Kenya, the greatest nation in Africa.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I think we'll end there. Those who have spoken for all of you members. I know that TB is something very frightening. Visit your local hospitals and you'll see the pain that TB patients go through. Honorable members, I want to acknowledge the following schools in the public gallery: St. Augustine Mwingi Boys, Mwingi Central, Kitui; Kimuri Primary School, Kinangop, Nyandarua; Sunrays School, Ruaraka, Nairobi; Zion Peak Primary School, Rongai, Nakuru; St. Bonaventure School, Maara in Tarakaniti. On your behalf and on my own behalf, I welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Do we have a petition? Who is it? Kipchumba, you have a petition to present?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to prosecute this petition, which is before the floor of this House. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Article 119 of the Constitution of Kenya, as well as Standing Order 219 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, to raise a petition regarding deregistration and dismissal of Mr. Joseph Kimeli Chebi by the Teacher Service Commission. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Mr. Kimeli Chebi, a resident of Marakwet West, where I come from, I wish to draw the attention of the House to the following issues. Mr. Speaker, that Mr. Joseph Kimeli Chebi of ID number 7372032 was engaged as a teacher by the Teacher Service Commission in May 1990 and deployed to various schools including Kibigos Primary School, Kokongwe Primary School, and Kibirej Primary School within Marakwet West. Mr. Speaker, that while serving as the head teacher of Kibirej Primary School, Mr. Chebi was interdicted on the 14th day of May 2014 by the Teacher Service Commission for allegedly having carnal knowledge with one of their pupils. Mr. Speaker, that on the 23rd May 2014, he was charged before Iten Law Courts with the offense of defilement, whereupon he was released on bond. Mr. Speaker, that Mr. Chebi appeared before the Teacher Service Commission, County Director at Eldoret, for the hearing of his disciplinary case, during which he was neither represented by counsel nor given an opportunity to address or cross-examine the key witness who was the complainant, thereby infringing upon his right to fair hearing. Mr. Speaker, that on the 13th day of July 2015, he received 2 letters from the TSC informing him of the Commission's decision to remove his name from the register of teachers and to dismiss him from service on the alleged but unsubstantiated grounds. Mr. Speaker, that despite his appeal, the Commission upheld his deregistration and dismissal without informing him of his right of being accompanied by an advocate. So, Speaker, that the deregistration and dismissal constituted grave injustice since the TSC did not properly investigate the allegations leveled against him and arrived at decision solely on hearsay. Mr. Speaker, that the complainant in the defilement case gave birth to a child whom she claimed belonged to Mr. Chebi, but the resultant DNA test turned negative as contained in the government analyst letter dated 21st June 2017. Mr. Speaker, that based on the DNA test, the court acquitted Mr. Chebi on the 24th day of January 2018, and the High Court further dismissed the complainant's application for revision on 24th July 2019, marking the end of the protracted legal pattern. Mr. Speaker, that since his unlawful dismissal, Mr. Chebi has suffered great prejudice and irreparable harm, and efforts to seek his reinstatement and re-registration by the Teacher Service Commission in light of his acquittal by a court of law have been futile. Mr. Speaker, that the issues in respect in which this petition is raised are not pending before any court of law or any other constitutional or legal body. Mr. Speaker, therefore, your humble petitioner pray that the National Assembly, through the Public Petitions Committee, investigates the matter with a view of declaring Mr. Chebi's deregistration and dismissal from service by the TSC as unfair, irregular, and unlawful. Mr. Speaker, secondly, that the Committee on Petition inquires into the matter in order to secure the reversal of his dismissal, his reinstatement by TSC, re-registration in the Register of Teachers, as well as remittance of all his dues from the date of his unfair dismissal. So, Speaker, third, that the Committee on Petition reviews and strengthens the existing TSC policies on disciplinary procedures and to ensure that allegations of sexual misconduct involving teachers and learners are thoroughly investigated and dealt with in a fair and just manner. Finally, Mr. Speaker, that the petition committee of this House considers enacting or amending existing laws on disciplinary procedures and to provide better safeguards for teachers against arbitrary and unjust dismissals based on unfounded allegations, thereby upholding their rights to due process and a fair hearing. Mr. Speaker, in summary, Mr. Speaker, this teacher was employed and served.
Order, Honorable Timothy. You are going beyond what the standing orders allow you.
Guided, yeah.
You present the petition as given to you by your constituent. Once you are done, you are spent. The only forum you may have is you can go to the petitions committee and help your friend or client or constituent in prosecuting the petition. Honorable members, that petition stands committed under Standing Order 227, the Committee on Public Petitions. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 28th July 2023. Annual report and financial statement of Kirinyaga University for the year ended 30th June 2022 from Kirinyaga University. Number 2, National Government Budget Implementation Review Report for the first 9 months of financial year 2022-2023 from the Office of the Controller of Budget. Number 3, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement in respect of the following constituencies for the year ended 30th June 2022 and the certificates therein. A. Ruaraka, B. Kasarani, C. Endebes, D. Makadara, E. Kuria East, F. Gatundu South, G. Gatundu North, H. Embakazi North, I. Turkana North, J. Igembe North, K. Thika Town, L. Nyaribari Chache, M. Ugenya, N. Soi, O. Seme, P. Chepulungu, Q. Makweni, R. Naivasha, S. Kaminini, T. Ndiwa, U. Borabu, V. Nyakach, W. Hamisi, X. Limuru, Y. Ruiru, and Z. Ainamoi. Thank you.
Chairperson, Select Committee, Decentralized Funds Accounts. Gideon Mulyungi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 27th July 2023. Report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituency Development Fund for 12 constituencies in Kakamega County for the financial years 2013-2014, 2014-2015, and 2015-2016. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next, Chairperson, Public Petitions Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 27th July 2023. Reports of the Public Petitions Committee on its consideration of the following petitions. 1. Public Petition number 6 of 2022 by Honorable Dr. James Nikal regarding compensation for Nyanza Western Caucus of internally displaced persons. And 2. Public Petition number 12 of 2023 by Honorable Edith Nyenze regarding the desiltation of Matinga Dam. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Select Committee, Decentralized Funds Accounts, Honorable Mulyungi Gideon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts a report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituency Development Fund for 12 constituencies in Kakamega County for financial years 2013-2014, 2014-2015, and 2015-2016, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 27th July 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mulyungi. Next order. Sorry, Rosa Buyu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 33-1, I seek leave for the adjournment of the House for purposes of discussing a definite matter of urgent national importance regarding the reported police brutality in various parts across the country. Honorable Speaker, Article 37 of the Constitution provides for the right of every person to assemble, to demonstrate, and to picket. Additionally, the Constitution in Article 36 confers all citizens with the freedom of association. Over the last few weeks, Mr. Speaker, citizens from all walks of life have been exercising their constitutional freedom and right to associate, to assemble, and to demonstrate across the country against the high cost of living. Mr. Speaker, sadly, there have been cases of obstruction of the exercise of these freedoms and rights by the police, including reported incidents of harassment and police brutality. This unwarranted use of force against unarmed civilians has especially been experienced in Nairobi, in Kisii, in Kisumu, in Migori, in Busia, in Makueni, and Homa Bay counties, which has led to the death of more than 20 people, as well as fatal injuries to numerous citizens. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek leave for adjournment of the House to discuss this matter of great national concern with a view to exploring possible and lasting solutions to this unjustified contravention of the law. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Rosa Buyu, do you have the requisite number to support? The support is overwhelming. You may take your seats. Take your seats. Order. Order. Honorable Rosa Buyu. You will be allocated order. You will be allocated time to move your motion after the debate at order number 9. Depending on how it goes, when order number 9 is called, we'll allocate it 1 hour, and after that 1 hour, then you can move your motion. Yes, Honorable Ruku. Give Ruku the microphone.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you, and I think the motion is defective because the mover has not quoted the Constitution properly, because the Constitution says, Mr. Speaker, that the public has the right to peacefully and unarmed to demonstrate and picket, peacefully and unarmed. She has not quoted that piece of Article 37 the way it's supposed to be.
Order, honorable members. I'm sure you know very well that when a member is on a point of order, you can't rise with another point of order. Those are your standing orders. When he finishes, then you can claim a point of order. He's on a point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me. What I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that Article 7 of our Constitution gives us 2 conditions for us to be able to demonstrate, to picket, to present petition to public authorities, and to assemble. We must do that in an armed manner and in a peaceful manner. The mover of the motion, she has not quoted Article 7 of our Constitution the way it's supposed to be. And that motion is defective, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. I don't see what is agitating you. He has risen on a point of order to draw the Speaker's attention to what he thinks is a defect in the motion. And you leave it to the Speaker to deal with it. The motion came to the Speaker read through it, the Speaker was satisfied that it is a proper motion and approved it, and it is before the House. The Honorable Ruku is entitled to his argument, and I invite you to vibrantly debate the motion and put those arguments forward when the motion comes. Next order. Not on that same matter. You are anticipating debate. It is not on this motion. If it is, I'll stop you. Wandai?
Mr. Speaker, I have no issue whatsoever about the character of the motion. I just want to perhaps request you, in accordance with the traditions and rules, really traditions, let me say so, if you could just be kind enough to give us a specific time for the debate on this motion, rather than leaving it open in the manner you have implied here.
Okay. I think I've been very specific, Honorable Wandai. The next order is a question to be put. Then order number 9, I directed that it be debated for 1 hour. So maximum 1 hour. If it ends earlier, this motion will start earlier. But we'll give it 1 hour. Thereafter, the motion will come. It can't be any more definite than that. Yes, Senior Counsel, Tena Molo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think we are all well guided and we respect your ruling. But Mr. Speaker, I think there's a practice that now needs to be called out. There's a practice where when people want to debate, they stand on a point of order. In forgetting that Standing Order 1071B makes it disorderly conduct to knowingly raise a false point of order. Mr. Speaker, I urge that in such cases, it is not enough to let the member finish and then they sit down. That's wasting this August House's time. I think, Mr. Speaker, it is important that we guide the House accordingly so that we can move. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tena Molo, I know that we can rigidly apply the standing orders, as you say. I also know that we need, at certain times, some comic relief in the House. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Not allowed. Honorable members, order. Order. Naomi Wako, take your seat. Honorable members, at order number 8, we now put. Oh, you're number 7. Sorry. Oh, sorry. We are at order number 7. We have a statement from the Honorable Ngeleche. A very important statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 259D 2B to notify the House of the great achievement in the past few weeks of Ms. Faith Kipyegon and Mr. Ferdinand Omanyala. Mr. Speaker, I take note that Faith Kipyegon is a resident of Elgeyo Marakwet County, and I therefore would wish her recognition. Honorable Speaker, in the past month, Ms. Faith Kipyegon, a world-renowned Kenyan athlete, participated in various competitions, including the Monaco Diamond League. Her performance has been exceptional and reflects the Kenyan spirit of hard work, discipline, and perseverance. Notably, on 2nd June 2023, Ms. Kipyegon broke the 1500 meters world record in Florence, Italy, with a new time of 3:49:11 seconds. 1 week later, on 9th June 2023, she again broke the 5,000 meters world record at the Paris Diamond League with a new world record of 14:5:20. In a further display of her consistency and hard work, on 21st July 2023, Faith Kipyegon shattered the 1 mile world record at the Diamond League in Monaco with a time of 4 minutes, 7 seconds, 0.64. These exceptional achievements, Mr. Speaker, ought to be celebrated by all Kenyans. Ms. Kipyegon has previously won both the Olympic and World Athletic Championship in 1500 meters title. She is an icon athlete who ought to be emulated by our own youth and indeed by all. We wholeheartedly congratulate her for this iconic achievement. Ongera Dada Kipyegon, Kongoi Faith. On the other hand, Honorable Speaker, another son of our soil, Mr. Ferdinand Omanyala, has consistently outperformed other sprinters in Africa and beyond to emerge victorious. Mr. Omanyala, who is the current Commonwealth Games 100 meters champion, made history after becoming the first Kenyan to win the 100 meters race at the Diamond League on Friday, 21st July 2023 in Monaco. He is also the reigning African 100 meters champion. Omanyala's unwavering commitment in the unyielding passion for the sports has propelled him to the new heights, solidifying his place among the elite sprinters of his generation. We congratulate him for his feat. Hongera Kaka Omanyala. Honorable Speaker, the achievements by Ms. Faith Kipyegon and Ferdinand Omanyala reminds us that with steadfast dedication, resilience, focus, and desire to succeed, anything is possible. These Kenyans also serve a great inspiration, especially to young Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, as you can remember, we also have so many other athletes in this republic, like Mercy Cherono, who is a champion in the road race and 5,000 meters. We also have Helen Obiri, we have Perez Chepchirchir, Faith Cheruiyot. Among others, we have the gentlemen Geoffrey Kamoror, Emmanuel Korir, Evans Chebet, Kevin Kiptum, who is predicted to be lowering further the marathon world record. Honorable Speaker, it is in these spaces that I wish to notify the House of these achievements and request that the tributes of the House be recorded in honor of Ms. Faith Kipyegon and Mr. Ferdinand Omanyala. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ngeleche. Indeed, the two athletes and the many others you have mentioned join the long array of great Kenyans, and they confirm, as Eliud Kipchoge said, no human is limited. Next order. You want to pay tribute? Yes, Nguna.
Yeah? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to just congratulate our athletes for the exemplary performance they are doing internationally. Mr. Speaker, since I am a serious and a passionate sportsman, I have never seen anyone breaking world records in 3 consecutive races. Congratulations to Faith Kipyegon for that exemplary performance. Ferdinand Omanyala became the first ever man to win Diamond League 100 meters. That is another world record thing, Mr. Speaker. It can't go without recognizing them. And so many people who have watched these athletes of late, we are just doing fabulous. I'm wishing them in the coming World Athletics Champions in Hungary, Budapest. All the best, and as we conquer the world. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that opportunity. I call upon the members of Parliament actually to pay glowing tribute, or rather to congratulate our athletes and stand with them firmly in ensuring we get as many as possible in the world stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nguna. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to take this opportunity also, and first to thank Honorable Ngelechei for having thought of us paying tribute and congratulating Faith, who has done marvelously well for this country. And indeed, her achievements in the last few months, breaking 3 world records together with Omanyala, is no mean feat. And we congratulate her and thank her for raising our flag very high when internationally our country looks like there was nothing good coming out of it other than people chasing each other in the streets. At least we saw a young lady from the Great Rift doing marvelous things around the world and putting our name on the world map. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from this young member who is gesturing at me menacingly, and I don't know his name. We'll get to know him as time goes on. Maybe the Honorable Junet will teach him how to behave in the House, that you don't menacingly... Oh, it's called Clive. Clive. And I'm told he's an old boy of the school. And at the school, probably when he was at the school, when I was a prefect in charge of discipline, I'd have taught him how to behave even in the House. But Honorable Speaker, I was saying Faith has done this country together with Omanyala a great honor, and we must thank and ask our chair. I hoped our chair sports would have been here, because besides these athletes coming back and being honored in State House, we need to come to a point where, Mr. Speaker, even Parliament should be able to honor on behalf of the Kenyan people these athletes. And I hope that the chair of the sports committee is taking notes and will do something towards ensuring that we not just honor these athletes, but also we grow talents, because there are very many other faiths in the world, and not in the world, but in Kenya, who only need nurturing through development of sporting facilities around the country. And I'm sure if we support them through our Committee on Sports, we'll be able to nurture many more Omanyalas and many more faiths, and even in other sporting disciplines, like football, that is going down, and has been going down over the years, Honorable Speaker. And with that, let me thank Honorable Ngelechei for that honor to honor Faith Omanyala and all our wonderful athletes in this country. Thank you.
Now go ahead and issue your Thursday statement.
Oh, thank you, Honorable Speaker. To the usual Thursday statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, pursuant to Standing Order 442A, I wish to give the following statement: that on Tuesday, 25th July 2023, the House Business Committee met for consideration of the business for the week. Honorable Speaker, I wish to officially welcome members back from the short recess, and I hope we have all come back invigorated in readiness to perform our roles for the remainder of this part of the session. Honorable Speaker, the House awaits reports on various items of business, and I urge committees to expedite and finalize their reports on bills, treaties, inquiries, and responses to statements and questions to be considered before the House. With regards to the business for Tuesday next week, the House is expected to continue with second reading of the following bills, should they not be concluded today. 1, the National Rating Bill 2022. 2, the Food Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill 2023. The Statutes Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2022 and the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023. Honorable Speaker, I hope the Chair Health and Chair Agriculture have noted that the Food Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill, which they have begun public participation, is slated for next week, so hopefully they have finished that work of public participation and table their report in the course of next week. Honorable Speaker, the debate will also be undertaken on the following motions, should they not be concluded today. Report of the Kenyan delegation to the Parliamentary Dialogue on United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, and Global Parliamentarians Against Corruption, GOPAC, Annual General Meeting. Report on a visit to semi-autonomous institutions of the East African Community. Inquiry into the maize flour subsidy program for the financial year 2022-2023. Report of the Kenyan delegation to the 146th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union, IPU, and related meetings. 5, consideration of reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for various funds. And 6, consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of state corporations, regulatory and governance agencies. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A5 and 6, I wish to convey that the following Cabinet Secretaries are scheduled to appear before the House on the afternoon of Wednesday, 2nd August 2023, to respond to questions. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from these members from Nyandarua who are discussing about the growth of potatoes and cabbages. And I appreciate that potatoes and cabbages have grown in Nyandarua, but the member for Oljororok and the county member of parliament for Nyandarua are discussing potatoes and cabbages right behind me and disrupting because I can't bear listen to how prices of potatoes and cabbages have gone down. And they cannot be complaining about the prices of cabbages and potatoes going down when we are looking at the cost of food prices coming down, Honorable Speaker.
Order Wanjiku Muya and your team. Maintain silence and order.
Honorable Speaker, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development to respond to the following questions. Question number 101, 2023, by Honorable Karoli Omondi, MP, regarding the reemergence of animal diseases and proliferation of unlicensed and unregulated animal medicines in the country. 2, question number 154 of 2023, by the Honorable Peter Salasia, MP, regarding the production and supply of BT cotton seeds to farmers. 3, question number 155 of 2023, by the Honorable Ruben Kiborek, MP, regarding the establishment of a revolving fund to facilitate the purchase of hides and skins for processing by the Ewasonyiro South Development Authority. 4, question number 156 of 2023, by the Honorable Gitonga Mukunji, MP, regarding the poor pricing of macadamia nuts in the country. 5, question number 222 of 2023, by the Honorable Agnes Pareyo, MP, regarding the revival of Enengetia NCPB depots in Narok North constituency. 6, question number 223 of 2023, by the Honorable Gideon Kimayo, MP, regarding the skyrocketing prices of the fertilizers, especially CAN. 7, question number 224 of 2023, by the Honorable Oku Kaunya, MP, regarding the availability and distribution of subsidized fertilizers across the 290 constituencies. 8, question number 225 of 2023, by the Honorable Abdul Haro, MP, regarding the agreement that the country has with Zambia for the production of maize. And 9, question number 290 of 2023, by the Honorable Rindikiri Mugambi, MP, regarding the quantity of fertilizer distributed to farmers in Vore constituency, Meru County. B is the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection to respond to the following questions. Question number 088 of 2023, by the Honorable Brighton Yagon, MP, regarding the welfare of Kenyan workers working in Saudi Arabia and efforts geared towards regulated licensing of recruiting agencies. Question number 089 of 2023, by the Honorable Robert Basil, MP, regarding the incorporation of senior citizens into the older persons cash transfer scheme. Question number 090 of 2023, by the Honorable Brighton Yagon, MP, regarding the formulation policy framework to support children whose parents or guardians are incarcerated. Question number 091 of 2023, by the Honorable Joyce Kamene, MP, regarding the plight of orphans, widows, and widowers in the country. Question number 092, by the Honorable Njeri Maina, MP, regarding the effectiveness of Inua Jamii program since its inception. Question number 160 of 2023, by the Honorable Mashua Waithaka, MP, regarding eligibility of cancer survivors being registered as persons with disabilities. Question number 189 of 2023 by Honorable Zamzam Mohammed MP regarding compliance by institutions to the minimum accessibility standards for persons with disabilities. Question number 190 of 2023 by the Honorable Gonzi Rai MP regarding the cushioning of elderly persons under Inua Jamii program. Question number 326 of 2023 by Honorable Gideon Kimaiyo MP regarding the unemployment of youth in Keio South constituency. Question 327 of 2023 by the Honorable Caleb Mule MP regarding registration and deregistration of beneficiaries of the Inua Jamii program in Machakos Town constituency. Question number 328 of 2023 by the Honorable Mishim Boko MP regarding status of beneficiaries under Inua Jamii program in Likoni sub-county. And question number 329 by the Honorable Gonzi Rai MP regarding provision of hardship allowance to civil servants in Kinango constituency. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 1st August 2023 to schedule the business for the rest of the week. I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and allow me to congratulate the Honorable Kaunya and the Honorable Abdul Haro. Honorable Speaker, you realize these two members have been very keen in utilizing the Standing Order 42A, 5, and 6 in putting questions before Cabinet Secretaries. I think almost every 2-3 weeks they have questions lined up to various ministries, and we must congratulate them. And the Honorable Kaunya, being a seasoned member, has been very keen even to sit through the question time every time Cabinet Secretaries are before the House, and I encourage other members to put in your questions to be answered by these Cabinet Secretaries so that you hold them to account for the time and the space they have been given to serve the people of Kenya in Cabinet. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Next order.
Order number 8, the Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022, second reading. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022, be now read the second time. As many as of that opinion say aye. If those of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the Public Service Values and Principles Act to provide for connected purposes.
Honorable members, before I go to the next order, allow me to acknowledge the following schools. In the public gallery, Koibatek Primary School, Eldama Ravine, Baringo. Ntumo Primary School in Maara, Tharaka Nithi. Nzauni Secondary School, Mwingi West, Kitui. Kiandu Primary School, Tetu, Nyeri. And in the Speaker's Gallery, Kilimani Secondary School, Kilome, Mwingi. Kenyatta Secondary School, Nakuru West, Nakuru. On my behalf and on your behalf, honorable members, we welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Next order.
Order number 9, the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022, second reading, resumption of debate.
Who was on the floor at the time of the rise of the House? Yes, Honorable Junet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me to say something. Mr. Speaker, I stand under Standing Order 95, Mr. Speaker. And will I be in order to ask the mover to be called to reply, Mr. Speaker? And that question to be put to the House to decide whether the mover can be called to reply.
What are you seconding?
You know, Mr. Speaker, there are always developments in the House. Ordinarily, it is not seconded, but this is a very important matter raised by the Honorable Junet. You know, he normally doesn't sit in the House, Mr. Speaker. So I am seconding this one.
There's no requirement to second, but is that the mood of the House? Are there still members who want to contribute to this bill? Okay, if that's the mood of the House, the Speaker will put the question that the mover now be called upon to reply. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and let me thank the Minority Whip, because I'm sure as much as he was not in the House, he was watching the number of people that contributed to this debate. And because we still have another chance to debate it during third reading, and this is a bill that concerns counties, to be heading to the Senate, so that we allow the Senate also to have time to debate and send it back to us for concurrence, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to thank all the members who contributed to this debate on Tuesday and Wednesday. Honorable Speaker, this rating bill, as I said when I moved the bill, and as was repeated by many members, is quite an important bill in helping all our county governments to realize their visions of growing their counties and being able to grow their revenue streams and their own source revenue. And I want to encourage all the counties to start mapping their counties, properties that are rateable, and even working with IT experts in their counties for geopositioning of all these properties, so that when we have this bill eventually become an act of parliament, they will be ready to use modern technology even to determine the level of rates that will be chargeable to other properties. Honorable Speaker, among the issues that members did touch on was the question of agricultural land and the need to protect our agricultural land and range lands for our pastoral communities. I remember the Honorable Sarah Correa was very particular on protection of community held land, so that communities that are in the pastoral areas do not lose their land being auctioned by county governments because they've not been able to pay rates for community land and range lands that are used by our pastoral communities for herding their livestock. Honorable Speaker, I hope the committee chair lands also did take note of all those issues, and they will be taken care of during third reading. And also, I'm sure senators who are listening, and they may also do the necessary justice to this bill when it gets to them. With those very many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022 be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for a comprehensive framework for imposition of rates on land and buildings by county governments, to provide for the valuation of rateable property, to provide for the appointment and powers of valuers, to provide for the establishment, powers and functions of the National Rating Tribunal, and for connected purposes.
Honorable members, I did give you direction that at the end of order number 9, we'll go to the motion of adjournment. And before I call the mover to move the motion, the House must be guided. One, this is a motion that you debate at the end, there's no vote. It's an issue that you debate soberly. It is a motion arising out of a very, very tight situation for our country. And I encourage each one of you who will contribute to avoid raising unnecessary emotions in the country. We are seeing some positive vibes from the leadership of the country. And I would encourage that we be more encouraging to sober up our country than to fan the fire, than to spill more inflammable material on the fire. Because this country needs peace. Even for you as members to do your work, you need peace. We all need peace that will escalate to development in our country and in our neighborhood. So I want to urge you members, and the chair will be very firm, we must debate as honorable members. The chair will not tolerate shouting across the aisle at each other. If a member says something that you are uncomfortable with, you'll be given an opportunity to counter with another argument, other than shouting at each other. Rosa Boyu, you may now move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I move this motion, I'd like to thank you for being very considerate. I'd requested that we move it on Tuesday, but for unseen circumstance, it wasn't, and you still provided for Wednesday. And when I put in the request, you moved it today, and I want to thank you for that. Mr. Speaker, I arise to move the motion regarding reported police brutality in various parts of the country. Mr. Speaker, Article 37 of the Constitution provides for the right of...
Rosa, you start by reading the motion as you framed it.
That's
then you
what...
start debating.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 33-1, I seek leave for adjournment of the House for the purpose of discussing a definite matter of urgent national importance regarding the reported police brutality in various parts across the country. Honorable Speaker, Article 37 of the Constitution provides for the right of every person to assemble, to demonstrate, and to picket. Additionally, the Constitution in Article 36 confers all citizens with the freedom of association. Over the last few weeks, Mr. Speaker, citizens from all walks of life have been exercising their constitutional freedoms and
Honorable
rights.
Rosa, it is Madam Speaker now. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I should have been the first one to correct that. Thank you, Madam Speaker. To exercise their constitutional freedom and right to associate, to assemble, and demonstrate across the country against the high cost of living. Madam Speaker, sadly, there have been cases of obstruction of the exercise of these freedoms and rights by the police, including reported incidences of harassment and police brutality. This unwarranted use of force against unarmed civilians has especially been experienced in Nairobi, in Kisii, in Kisumu, in Migori, in Busia, in Mombasa, in Makueni, and Homa Bay counties, which has led to the death of more than 20 people, as well as fatal injuries on numerous citizens. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek leave for adjournment of the House to discuss this matter of great national concern, with a view to exploring possible and lasting solutions to this unjustified contravention of the law. Madam Speaker, this afternoon I hold the Constitution of Kenya in my hand. This Constitution that we passed overwhelmingly as Kenyans does two things for me. The two things that stand out for me, Madam Speaker, is that this Constitution makes every Kenyan citizen equal to the other. And in all the things that subscribed in this Constitution, it does not leave any Kenyan behind. Madam Speaker, in cases where there's been unnoticed discrimination, this Constitution comes up with opportunities and clauses that talks about affirmative action so that every Kenyan is brought up to nearly as possible equal as the other. Madam Speaker, in other words, there is no Kenyan who's less of a Kenyan than another Kenyan. Madam Speaker, the next thing that this Constitution did for me is that when you look at Article 244, coming from the bloodshed of 2007 and 2008, the Constitution introduced, very radically so, National Police Service, away from National Police Force. Because the Constitution recognized that in 2007 and 2008, the police were brutal And a lot of lives were lost as a result. And if you look at 244C, one of the specific mandates that National Police Service is given, and I quote, Madam Speaker, is to comply with the constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms. End of quote. Madam Speaker, one such freedom is enshrined in Article 37 of this Constitution, where every Kenyan is given a right and an opportunity to picket, to demonstrate, if they so wish. Madam Speaker, a honorable member said that we should not overlook two words: peacefully or peaceably, and unarmed. Madam Speaker, I stand here to say that in the recent past, all the mandamanos or demonstrations that have had no presence of police have ended up being very peacefully. One such demonstration was one that was carried on in Siaya and was reported in our local TV stations. Another such demonstration was one that was carried in Kisumu West 2 weeks ago, where no police was present, and between 11 a.m. and 5:30 a.m., citizens demonstrated peacefully and went home without any incidents. Madam Speaker, it is therefore proven that the police, instead of acting in their protection role, actually provokes demonstrators who are otherwise very peaceful. In the provocation, Madam Speaker, there's tear gas, there's water batons, there's live bullets, which are used to shoot innocent, peaceful, unarmed demonstrators. Madam Speaker, I've stood on the floor of this House several times to actually protect the police and to actually fight for better living standards for the police. But on this front, the police of Kenya has failed Kenyans. They've turned into a killing squad. As I stand here today, you're seeing me in a black headscarf. I'm mourning two young men from my sub-location. One killed in Kondele at the flyover, way beyond the time of the demonstration. But as he's going home from work, a policeman at the flyover shoots at him. The boy had absolutely nothing. The other one killed in Kitengela. Madam Speaker, if you look at the 20 reported deaths, you will find that most of them were shot from the back. Madam Speaker, when you shoot people from the back, that means they are actually going. They are not even coming towards you to threaten you, but you choose to shoot them because you have the power of the gun. Madam Speaker, in many parts of this country today, Kenyans are mourning. Many of those young people will actually be buried this weekend, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, we cannot sit and watch this happen without discussing it and seeing how it can be brought to a stop, because tomorrow it will happen to you or your child or your relative. Madam Speaker, despite the fact that the National Police became a service and not a force, Madam Speaker, the curriculum of the training of the police still remains the same. And it's for this House to actually ensure that even the training of the police changes so that the police becomes a service and not a force. Madam Speaker, I don't care which side of the divide you're from. Because when the time comes and you face that policeman with a gun, a policeman who's only been trained to shoot, you will die, whether you belong to which side of the political divide. Madam Speaker, for all those who've been slain by the bullet, I ask this House to actually discuss and come up with opportunities where we'll actually ensure that those people who are dead will have justice, and justice that will be seen to be done. They might not be awake, they might not be alive to experience that justice, but we know that their death should not go in vain. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Rosa. And as guided by the Speaker and our standing orders, honorable members, every consequent member will have a maximum of 5 minutes, no additional, 5 minutes. And we will debate in decorum because this is a very important motion and this is the right place to bring it. So the next chance will go to the member for Endebess, Honorable Robert Pukose.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as Honorable Rosa Bui puts it, some of those victims were shot on the back. I ask myself, who was shooting them from the back when they are throwing the stones to the police? Is there somebody who is armed at the back that was shoot with guns, that were planning to make sure that these people are shot to create a situation? Because I've listened and seen in many of the TV stations, the other side has been claiming they were shot in the back. Yes, they were shot in the back. But these people, we know them, they were throwing stones at the police who are in the front. So meaning that probably the demonstrators were also armed and shooting the other demonstrators from the back to create a situation. Madam Speaker, what we've seen is a very sad situation.
What is out
where
of order?
Politicians...
Honorable Otiende.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I really like the spirit and guidance that the Speaker gave. I really hope that we can abide by that. For the Honorable Pukose to stand up and say that these people were throwing stones at the police, could he substantiate?
Order,
and if he
honorable
cannot,
member.
then he should withdraw.
Order, Honorable Otiende Wamolo, you're the one who raised the issue of abuse of actually point of order. Because Honorable Rosa Buyu also made allegations that were not countered. Please give the member the chance to finish and don't use the points of orders to debate. Honorable Pukose, please continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for protecting me from Honorable Otiende Amolo. Madam Speaker, we've seen what has happened. I saw my colleagues from the other side. Whenever this issue has come up of demonstrations, we ask ourselves, the court has made a ruling, and it has said, it has given stay orders for the finance bill. What is it that we are demonstrating against? Because if it is a question of even sitting down and negotiating, we had a team that had been formed, headed by Honorable Otiende Amolo and our own good friend, Kitonga Murugaro, the member for Tharaka. And this is members of this House. These committees suspended their activities because the minority side, under their leadership, called for demonstrations to praise what the court has already given a suspension of implementation, the finance bill. We are talking about the cost of living, which the government is already instituting measures to be able to make corrections, create employment, make the cost of food to go down through subsidies of fertilizers. These other issues, we saw the other day, Baba, former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, come out very clearly and said, now, the president of Tanzania was here to negotiate on these issues. We say, fine, that's okay. But what are these issues that we want to negotiate about? Is it negotiating about the cost of living? Is it negotiating about the cost of food? Which the government is already putting measures to resolve. If you have better ideas, I think it is better for former Prime Minister to sit down with our president, because we now see him recognizing President Ruto that he won fairly. Sit down with President Ruto, tell him how best he thinks President Ruto is not implementing projects to bring down the price of food. Mr. Speaker, what we heard from our colleague is vigils, which to me I think is crocodile tears, because if they had not called for demonstrations, would not have lost those lives. But they are calling, you will find that when they are doing these vigils, people are pretending to be holier than thou.
Order, Honorable Pukose. What is out of order, Ivo Bara? Honorable Ivo Bara.
Madam Speaker, I think we are here to discuss matters on police brutality. Why do you bring in Baba's name here? We have been asked to discuss this matter soberly.
Order.
Please,
Order,
please.
Honorable.
Madam
Order.
Speaker.
Order. Order, Honorable. You will get the chance to debate. Please, Honorable members, we are all here. We know the context. And I think Honorable Rosa Buyu has done very well in executing this motion. We will give all of you a chance to contribute. So finish up, Honorable Pukose. You have a few minutes. Finish up.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I saw some of them putting on even white clothes and attending vigils. To me, it's crocodile tears. Because if they had not called for the demonstrations, we would not have lost those lives. With those few remarks, I want to note my comments.
Order. Order, members. The next chance, there is no one on the floor, there cannot be anything possibly out of order. We will give the next chance to the member for Alego Usonga, Honorable Samuel Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the motion which has been moved by my colleague, the Honorable Rosa Buyu. And Honorable Speaker, this matter is very serious. It's very serious that when I hear my colleague, Dr. Pukose, speak like we are here to joke, Honorable Speaker, it's very sad. Honorable Speaker, as one of the people who participated in these peaceful demonstrations, I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that the police decided to engage in genocide in this country. And Honorable Speaker, we know that the police serves the regime that is in power. The regime which is in power.
What is out of order? Leader of majority.
Honorable Speaker, you know, our standing orders are very clear, Honorable Speaker, on matters of statement of fact, standing order 87. And the member, if you can protect me from Honorable Tiende Amolo and ask him to hold his emotions and allow me to say what I'm saying, Senior Counsel. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, the Honorable Member Samuel Atandi has said that the police engaged in genocide. Honorable Speaker, unless the member can substantiate what genocide is and how the police engage in genocide, and I think that is what the Honorable Speaker was telling us, to stop playing to the gallery and stop saying things that are emotive. So that, because when you say the police engage in genocide, I could also stand here and say someone else, and I don't want to mention any names, also engage in genocide. And I don't think Honorable Speaker is going to help us. I think it's only fair that the Honorable Atandi either withdraws the matter of genocide or substantiates.
Honorable Atandi, I refer you to Standing Order 87. 1, 2, actually all the way to 6. Kindly be careful with your wordings. Genocide, you'll have to substantiate. Yes. A genocide, you know how to define a genocide. You will either substantiate or you will withdraw.
Madam Speaker.
Order, members. Information is only to the member. Information. Do you want to be informed, Honorable Atandi, by the leader of minority?
Madam Speaker, I have 5 minutes. I need to execute my point.
Well,
so I will ignore the majority leader because he's not giving me any point.
You cannot ignore.
I'm going.
Fatalities, 21 are Luos. Of 136, 70% are Luos. You can read.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I have a list. I have a list of the people who have died in these demonstrations killed by the police. And 90% of the people who have been killed are members of the Luo community. Do you want me to define genocide for you?
Order.
You want me to read for you the list of the people who have been killed?
Order.
The list I have here, 90% of the names of people who are killed are members of the Luo community. So what are you telling me?
Honorable Atandi, order members, Honorable Atandi, I want to confirm you have actually just been supplied by that paper right now before my eyes. And it doesn't matter, yes, but I will give guidance on this. Genocide, you know how it is defined in the Constitution and even in the dictionary. You will not use uncertified information on the floor of this House. We will need to know the source to be certified and to be tabled. Yes. So, honorable members, order members, we will not waste this time, surely, ping-pong between that. Honorable members, Honorable Atandi, if you have a certified document, you know how to go about it. And it cannot be hearsay.
Madam.
What is out of order, Honorable Pukose?
Madam Speaker, Honorable Atandi has made a very serious allegation claiming that 90% are Luos, and I think that is wrong. It is profiling our community, which should not be, which I think is out of order, Madam Speaker. It should not be. We should not encourage profiling of our community. That is not right.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Atandi has already said he doesn't want information. So continue, Honorable Atandi.
Madam Speaker, before I allow my leader to give information, I want to urge you, Madam Speaker, not to be partisan in this conversation. Because what you are doing to me is you are being partisan. You are encouraging Honorable Pukose to stand on a useless point of order when you have given us guidelines that there's no need for us to use this useless point of orders.
Honorable Atandi, you will not cast aspersions to this chair. That one I will not allow. I will not allow. So kindly, you either table or you withdraw.
Madam Speaker, I want to give this chance to my leader to give me some information.
It is not up to you to give the leader the chance. Continue.
Okay. Okay, Madam Speaker, the point I was raising, Madam Speaker, is that the police serves every regime that comes into power. And the police that is shooting our people today is the same police that was serving the previous regimes. This regime, which is in power, got express instructions, and they gave the police express instructions to go out and shoot our people. And this was done after a meeting was allegedly held in State House, where a decision was made that the police must go out and discipline our people.
Order, members. And what is out of order? Chairman, security. Hold on. Leader of minority, you said point of information, and the member on the floor said doesn't want your information. Point of order. Continue.
Madam Speaker, I think you already kind of made a ruling. One, that we cannot able to use unsatisfied documents here on the floor. Two, the honorable member must withdraw the word genocide before we move on, Madam Speaker. Yeah, because, Madam Speaker,
where are those instructions?
I think the Speaker made it very clear when we, when we started, that we must able to handle this issue with a lot of decorum, without
Do not
emotion.
debate, Honorable Tongoyo.
Okay.
Don't debate.
Fine, let the member
Do
withdraw.
not debate.
And we want satisfied.
No, your time is up. Don't debate. Continue, Honorable Atandi.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. So, Madam Speaker, let us not pretend that the police on their own can wake up and go and shoot people.
Honorable Atandi, are you able to table a certified document to the floor of this House on the numbers and the names?
I will.
If you are not able to, you will withdraw. Not read. Order, members, not read.
Madam Speaker, give me a chance to make my point.
Not read.
Give me a chance to make my point,
Table.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, give me a chance to make my point. My point is very clear, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Atandi, we are in agreement. I am not gagging you. I am not gagging you. And the issue of contention is the issue of genocide. And there are two ways. You either table a certified list here on the floor of the House, or you withdraw. There are just two ways about it.
Madam Speaker, this list I want to table has been certified by Senior Counsel Otiende Amolo. So the list is here. I can table. Let me table the list to you so that you can look at it.
Honorable Atandi, walk to the table. Walk to the table.
Give me that one, I read. Madam Speaker, having tabled the certified list of members of our community, Madam Speaker, having tabled the certified list of our members who are killed by the police, and I want to read them as follows.
Order.
Fatalities.
Order.
Fatalities.
Order. Order, Honorable Atandi. Order, Honorable Atandi. We will do this the right way. We are a house of record. In the 11th Parliament, the Speaker ruled very clearly, any document tabled here must have a letterhead of the source and must be stamped. And the list I have here is a random list. It is a random list the way it is, and has only been signed by Honorable Otiende Amolo as we watch right now. So it is not admissible, and it is not my rules. Order. Order, members. Order, members. Order. Order, Honorable Mutuse, Order Millie Odhiambo. We are not castigating the capacity of senior counsel, but this is not admissible and it will not be used in the House. Honorable Atandi, you will withdraw the word genocide and you will continue.
Madam Speaker.
You do not have to rise on your feet, Honorable Junet. Order, Honorable Junet. Order. Order. Honorable Atandi, we are waiting for you. Hold on.
Madam Speaker, I will not withdraw what I've said.
What is out of
what
order?
I will do, I'm allowed to...
What is out of order, Honorable Junet?
Madam Speaker, this is a house of procedure, Madam Speaker. And as you have said very well here, that the document tabled by a member must have a letterhead and must be authenticated. Madam Speaker, let me ask you a question as the Speaker presiding over this. How do you expect the dead bodies to have letterheads? These are people who are dead. Where do you want them to get letterheads from? These are people who are already dead. Where do we get the letterheads from, Madam Speaker? These are dead people.
Order, Honorable
Where do you
Junet.
get letters for dead people?
Order. Honorable Junet. Order, Honorable Junet. How did they write these names, if at all they are dead? Order, Honorable Junet. Order. We have sources of statistics in this country. You don't have to be alive. You actually can be a part of statistic. even when you're not alive. So, Honorable Atandi, wind up. Withdraw that genocide.
Give me the list. Where's my microphone? Give me the microphone. Madam Speaker, for the record, I will not withdraw what I have said. And I want to clarify, Madam Speaker, I want to clarify that the police decided to go to Kisumu, remove people from their houses and shoot them dead. And Busia, there's nothing I'm going to add on that. I'm not going to withdraw. Madam Speaker, as I conclude.
Honorable Atandi.
Madam Speaker,
Order. What is your point of order, Leader of Majority?
Honorable Speaker, you know we are a house of rules. And maybe you could ask Honorable Atandi to take his seat so that we become orderly. Standing Order 107A. And just for the record, I may read for Honorable Atandi. On grossly disorderly conduct. A member conducts an act of gross disorderly conduct if the member A defies a ruling or direction of the Speaker or chairperson of committees. Honorable Speaker, you have given a direct order asking the Honorable Atandi to either withdraw the use of the word genocide without substantiating and proceed with his speech. And he has categorically told you he shall not withdraw. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask, Honorable Speaker, that you take action on the Honorable Atandi, and in line with Standing Order number 108, the Honorable Samuel Atandi be named for defying a direct directive from the chairperson. Because, Honorable Speaker, if you allow this House to transact business this way, tomorrow I will allege that Junet has directed someone to shoot someone else and say all manner of unpalatable things without substantiating, and I chest thump here and say I will not withdraw. Honorable Speaker, we must protect the dignity of this debating chamber, Honorable Speaker.
You have made your point. I was reluctant to apply it because I think this House is meant for this kind of ventilation. But Standing Order 108 and 107 is very clear. Honorable Atandi, and Honorable Junet, you're totally out of order. Totally out of order. Totally out of order. Totally out of order. Honorable Atandi. Order, members. Honorable Atandi, I will, instead of using Standing Order 107, I will apply Standing Order 91 on responsibility of statement of fact. And 91.1 is clear that a member shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts which the member alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any facts instantly. Number 2, if a member has sufficient reason to convince the Speaker, then the member is unable to substantiate the allegations instantly, I can require you to take your time. So I will use 91 and give you up to the end of the session to either substantiate or withdraw. If you don't, then 107 will be applied. Order, members, we will go on with the debate. We will go on with the debate. The next chance will go to, I think the women might bring some sanity. I'll give to Honorable Phyllis Bartow.
Madam Speaker, I rise to put my voice also in this motion. And to say that, Madam Speaker, the genesis of the demonstrations and the death of people was called by someone. And this someone made people to go to the streets. Madam Speaker, for the first time, our police really worked hard to sort out situations. And they were overwhelmed. They were abused. They were thrown at stones. These people who were called to go and demonstrate were looting shops. For example, Madam Speaker, Quick Mart supermarkets in Nairobi, they were the most affected. They were looted. They broke into those shops and they took wares. They stole everything. Madam Speaker, to come here and start condemning our police who work under oath, Madam Speaker, is very unfortunate. Madam Speaker, we saw honorable members of parliament go to the streets and hold vigils and with candles. Madam Speaker, are they planned for these deaths so that they could have something to do? It's like they are prepared a timetable, Madam Speaker. They have a timetable of what they are supposed to be doing. Their calendar is full of activities, from making people to die. Then from there, they call for vigils, they go and light candles. Then they have a day for burial, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, is it the police who are doing that? It is unfortunate for us to come here and start wanting to condemn our policemen. Yet, the root cause of the problem is mandamano. Who calls for this mandamano? These leaders who are here and they want to condemn the police, our leaders, our honorable members who are here and they want to condemn the police are the people who are out there always calling for members of the public to go to the streets. Who will protect those people who are doing business? Who are going to protect those people who are in their shops? Madam Speaker, it is high time we create a space, a picketing space for those people who want to undermine, so that instead of going to destroy property, instead of going to disturb peace of people who are doing their everyday business in life, they go to those spaces, make noise, picket, scream, and at the end of the day, they go back. Madam Speaker, I come from Moiben. In Moiben, we are maize farmers. Our people are very busy in the farms. They are growing maize. The price of maize at the moment is good because people are working hard. Why do they want to call other people to go to the streets and want the cost of life to come down? How can the price of maize be reduced? And yet, people are working very hard. Madam Speaker, I think what we are saying here is that let the police do their duty. It is not the police who are killing those people. Can they go and find out who are killing these people? They know. They even have a list of the dead. How do they know? Can you tell us, can they tell us who are killing these people? Can they come out clear and tell us who are the people behind these deaths? Otherwise, Madam Speaker, our police are very innocent. Even them, they lost lives. Can they tell us who killed these police? Yes. Because the other day we were shown in the papers. Can you tell us who killed those people and who killed the police? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Other members, member for Kimilili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to wade into this matter. And even as we proceed, we have to be aware of what is factual, Madam Speaker. One is that we had armed young men who entered the mortuary in Kisumu town, threw the bodies of the dead people, and took everything away. This is a fact, Madam Speaker. It is also a fact that the same young men went into a supermarket belonging to Mr. Hussein. They looted everything to the tune of more than 200 million, Madam Speaker. This is a fact. In Nairobi here, we have men who went to a supermarket in Gitangala. They looted they looted everything, took everything away, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is also a fact that we have seen on TV police officers being chased by this motion, Madam Speaker. This motion has been brought here to serve two purposes. One is to sanitize the same fellas who are causing anarchy, who are arming young people in this country, who are destroying properties of innocent Kenyans, including police stations, Madam Speaker. This motion is also brought here,
Order.
Madam Speaker.
What is out of order, Honorable Masara?
It is quite, thank you, Madam Speaker. It is quite unfortunate that Honorable Didmas Barasa is misleading this House. Let him produce documents showing those who looted those supermarkets. It is in record in this country. Let us not reduce Parliament to where somebody can talk. As somebody was charged by murder, killing people by gun, cannot come in this Parliament and start lecturing people on issues of
Honorable Masara. Order. Honorable Masara. Honorable Masara, you know the standing orders. I don't need to remind you. You're a repeat member. You're a repeat member, so I will ignore that one. So continue, Honorable Didmas.
Madam Speaker, I said, and I want to repeat again here, that the aim of this motion is to intimidate the IG of the National Police Service, and I want to ask the IG not to be intimidated by this motion, and that Kenyans are with him. He must protect properties and the life of the Kenyan people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Order, members. Order, members. What is out of order? It better be out of order, Honorable Rosa.
Madam Speaker, I moved this motion because I wanted to discuss the brutality of the police, which is in the glaring limelight of everyone. Is the member in order? Is the member in order to claim that I, Rosa Akinyi-Buyu, brought in this motion so that it can be a cleansing act of some people that is imagining? Is in order to...
Honorable members, order members.
No, Madam Speaker.
Order members. Honorable Rosa, you've already raised your point of order.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, order. The Speaker approved this motion. It has gone through the scrutiny that is required. It is properly before this House. So even as we debate, Honorable Didmas, let us restrict ourselves to the motion. And don't cast aspersions to your colleagues, even on the other side.
Madam Speaker, if you look at the content of the motion, it has got statistics that are not proven. And when you are debating a motion, you debate it in a language, it will package your facts the way you want to package your facts. So by me saying that the reason why this motion was brought here is to intimidate the National Police Service from discharging their constitutional duties, and I want to tell them, all the agencies, that Kenyans are with them. And I want to make it very clear, Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there are members from the opposition who have been hiding in my house in the servant quarters for fear of being arrested. I want to ask them to forget. If they are continuing to engage in the things they are engaging in, let them be arrested, Madam Speaker. I will no longer provide refuge for suspected criminals who are destroying properties in this country, Madam Speaker.
Order,
Madam
members.
Speaker, protect me.
Order, members. Order. Order, Honorable Didmas. Order. 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 Order, members. Order, members. Honorable Milio Diambo. Honorable Bensouda, let us not shout across the aisle. Honorable Didmas. Honorable Didmas. Honorable Didmas. Honorable Didmas, I will just say, the people, how they came to your servants' quarters, please get them the same way, the same route they came. Get them the same way. Order, members. Order. Order, Honorable Millie. Order, Honorable Millie. Honorable Didmas, please, wind up. You only have a few minutes. Wind up.
Madam Speaker, I want to summarize by saying that those leaders who will continue to radicalize the children of this country by arming them with machetes and rungus to loot and
Honorable
destroy
Catherine, you're out of order.
and the private properties. There should be nowhere these people should hide. The police should carry out their duties. The police should execute their constitutional mandate to protect life and properties, and those leaders who are found radicalizing young men, arming them with rungus and machetes, they should be dealt with, and the sponsors should be dealt with according.
Your time is up. Time is up. The next chance will go to the member for Siaya, Honorable Christine Ombaka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. We are discussing police brutality. We are discussing police brutality, and I must say how sad it is for this country to belittle the horror of the police. The police demonstrated that they are actually killing the nation. A musician once sang, "Killing the nation." And the people who kill the nation are the police who are supposed to protect the very nation that they are serving. The country looks so bad in the eyes of the international community. When you kill women and men, when you kill old people, when you kill young people who are simply demonstrating because of the high cost of living, then you really don't know what you're doing. Demonstration is a right. It is a right all over the world. And Kenya is not the only place where demonstration has taken place. It does take place all over. There's no single police that comes in the streets to kill and shoot, to kill young people who are simply expressing their rights. Therefore, this country needs to apologize to the country. The leadership of this country needs to apologize to families that have been murdered, that have been killed, those who are maimed, those who are in hospital. The image of this government is so poor, it's so heartbreaking, it's so horrifying. The police needs to apologize and to compensate the families that have been killed or hurt or maimed. Otherwise, this country is going down the drain. You have no right to kill your own people. Brothers are killing their own brothers, and you're killing your own sisters and your mothers. You should be ashamed as a government. We cannot continue to do that when you know very well that the people who are demonstrating are not armed. The people who are demonstrating are just simply walking. I was in Siaya, and there was no violence at all. So you cannot talk about violence when the police themselves are violent. You cannot carry live guns and you shoot, you throw tear gas, you throw tear gas and you expect not to die. You mean those who are here, you members who are here, who don't seem to have a heart for humanity, you too, your time is coming. You cannot kill and continue to say and celebrate that you have killed. You face other people who have guns like you and fight them. But don't fight people who are not armed at all. The image of this country is so bad. The image of the government is so bad. You owe the nation an apology, and you must compensate for the lives you have killed. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Ombaka. The next chance will go to the member for Kipkelion, Honorable Hillary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The matter before the House this afternoon is a very serious matter, Madam Speaker. And Honorable Rosa Buyu, while condemning Rosa Buyu, Rosa Akinyi Buyu, Rooster, okay, sorry. Madam Speaker, you see, as we condemn police, we must also be factual to the Republic of Kenya. Why did the police reach the point where they reached? And Madam Speaker, I'm speaking as a member of parliament, neighboring Muhoroni and Nyanza constituencies. Madam Speaker, what is happening in Nyanza right now during demonstration are a criminal network, Mungiki-like organized network, extorting money from members of the public. From my home, Madam Speaker, up to Ahero, I go through 200 roadblocks erected by ODM goons, and you want the police to sit by and watch as my right is infringed. Madam Speaker, we will not allow. And Madam Speaker, I want to say that the police conducted themselves with utmost restraint. And Madam Speaker, I would want to urge the police of Kenya to take charge, dismantle these criminal networks. And Madam Speaker, the nation has a thread of these activities. There is a leader in this country, Madam Speaker, during a campaign election, he comes up with an M-Pesa number, people don't know where money is going. In these networks, they have been extorting people. My senator from Bomet came from Kapsabet to Sitotwet. Madam Speaker, he parted with 70,000 from illegal taxes by a group saying they are changering for Baba, probably to put up a hotel in Malindi, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, as much as we speak, and that is shame, Madam Speaker, as much as we condemn police, we must condemn hooligans who have taken law onto their hands, Madam Speaker.
Hold on, Honorable Hillary. Honorable Jeanette, what is out of order?
Madam Chair, I'm on a point of order. Madam Chair, you know, Honorable Kipkelion from Kipkelion is not a new member, like the way I will keep quiet when new members are learning the ropes. Madam Chair, this is a man who's having his second term. Well, Madam Speaker.
What is out of order?
When he's, this is a House of Records, Madam Speaker. When he's raising such kind of allegations that taxes are being collected of 70,000, in the standing order, there's the standing order of relevance, Madam Speaker. What relevance that has got to do with police brutality, Madam Speaker? Unless he is the goon who's instructing them what to do, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, if you don't guide this debate in relevance, to relevance, Madam Speaker, then people are going to speak here about their land, their farms, their potatoes and everything, Madam Speaker. Let us discuss issues pertaining to police brutality. That's all.
Thank you. Honorable members, the motion is very clear that what Honorable Rosa Bui brought to this House is across the country. So you also cannot gag honorable members. That is why Dr. Ombaka will speak about Siaya, someone else will speak about Mombasa, because it is part of the context. So unless someone is totally out of order, let us give members chances to finish so that everyone can have the chance to talk. Honorable Hillary. Hillary, do you want to be informed by the leader of majority?
Yes, by my leader, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to inform Honorable Hillary that it was quite in order, because indeed the Honorable Leader of Minority, the whip of the minority, has indeed confirmed what Hillary was saying. He is not denying the fact that there are people collecting illegal taxes. He had only a problem with relevance. And therefore, Honorable Hillary, let me inform you that you are perfectly in order. There are cartels in this country using violence and anarchy to collect illegal taxes. And they must be dealt with.
Order. Leader of majority, we have already guided. Please, Honorable Hillary, continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I want to just inform my friend, Honorable Junet, that I was using this point exactly to justify why it was necessary for police to come and deal with these criminal gangs. And Madam Speaker, in conclusion, I want to urge the police, the Inspector General of Police, not to blink and to deal and quell with all criminal networks, not necessarily in the Luo Nyanza, but in the entire Republic, and bring order. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes.
The member has already wound up. Your time is up. Leader of minority.
Madam Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity, and I hope you'll indulge me to allow me to speak for about 10 minutes. I am the leader. Why are you anxious?
Order members.
And I want to...
Order members. In my discretion, the leader of majority and minority will each have 10 minutes.
Yeah. Madam Speaker, and I want to actually help reduce the temperatures. But let me start by saying this. That sometimes when I sit here and listen to members speak, I really get amazed. You know, Madam Speaker, I have seen members right from the 11th Parliament who were then very supportive of this kind of atrocities by the police. Come the 12th Parliament, they were here crying, and they cried throughout. Now, Madam Speaker, now come the 13th Parliament, they have gone back to their 11th Parliament position. Madam Speaker, let me say this. You can defend and protect a monster which will eventually devour you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I can remember vividly on the floor of this House sometime in 2014 when there were attempts to remove powers from the National Police Service Commission and vest them in the IG of police. I stood here and warned members, but I have since been vindicated. Madam Speaker, let me say this again. In this country, there were times under the previous constitutional dispensation when you could not even get a chance not only to demonstrate but even to meet publicly. There were times in this country when you could not even speak freely on the floor of this House. Madam Speaker, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is a product of a very, very long and painful struggle, Madam Speaker. And that Constitution is known the world over for its robust and elaborate Bill of Rights, one of which is the right to demonstrate, to picket, and to do whatever you want to do under Article 37. Madam Speaker, no authority or no person has got the power to suspend the operation of Article 37 of the Constitution. Madam Speaker, let me say this, that in this country, it has now become commonplace that demonstrations of whatever kind, especially the ones that are currently underway, are always peaceful until and unless the police intervene with brute force. That is a fact. Madam Speaker, and let me also say this, and if you care to listen, please listen to me. Madam Speaker, it will be a very sad day if our country were to be allowed to slide to the status of those failed states that we know of. And why do I say so? Madam Speaker, as we speak, and I'm speaking from a point of knowledge, Madam Speaker, as we speak, there seems to be parallel commands in the police service. There seems to be parallel command structures in the National Police Service because of all the persons who have recently been killed. Nearly all of them have been killed by officers, first and foremost in plain clothes. Secondly, they seem to report to nobody, Madam Speaker. But thirdly, they seem to be part of a militia which has been enlisted to rain terror on a helpless citizenry, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if we allow this culture of militia, culture of goons, culture of thuggery to permeate the National Police Service, which we support, Madam Speaker, we shall be setting very dangerous precedents.
What is out of order? Member for Dagoretti South.
Madam Speaker, I've got utmost respect for the leader of minority, and I was keen to listen through to his speech so that I can respond when I get an opportunity. However, it would be wrong for the leader of majority to misguide this House and also the leader of minority to misguide this House by giving information that is not true. I'm sure the leader of majority will not be able to substantiate the fact that there are two centers of command for the police, because it is very clear what the chain of command for the police in Kenya is. Secondly, the leader is claiming that there is a militia. In I get an opportunity to speak, I will talk about the anatomy of a demonstration. When the demonstration...
Do not debate.
The leader must substantiate where that militia is, under whose command the militia is, and why they think that they can benefit from a mischief that they manufacture themselves and come to this House to cry crocodile tears.
Do not debate, Honorable KJ. That is a point of debate.
No, Madam Speaker, I said from the outset that I will try to be very, very cautious and temperate in my address. Madam Speaker, it is not for me to investigate militia. That can't be my work. Not long ago, I heard a member say here that those who have been killed were not killed by police. Then it means they were killed by non-police persons who could only be part of a militia. Yeah, so whoever is responsible can investigate for us and tell us who are these militia. Madam Speaker, let me say this, that if you want to make this country retain its status in the community of nations, we must be very careful about what is happening currently. And the National Police Service has over the years been known to be a service of repute. It cannot be allowed to descend to the level it is currently descending. Madam Speaker, you cannot accuse hapless and armed citizens who are going about exercising their right under Article 37 of the Constitution, and who, having been provoked by water cannons, by tear gas, by police truncheons, by bullets, defend themselves. Because the right to defense is also acknowledged, not only nationally, but also internationally. Madam Speaker, today we are talking about people throwing stones in defense of their rights to demonstrate. One day, they may graduate from stones to something else. That is when you will realize that peace is a very precious commodity, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member for Gatanga is daring me to try. I think he doesn't know me. But let me tell you, Madam Speaker, this country has witnessed what has never been witnessed in the past 4 regimes. I have been lucky to live through those 4 regimes. Madam Speaker, the kind of brutality that has been meted out on innocent and armed citizens in the last couple of months is unprecedented. Those of us who lived under Jomo Kenyatta and lived under Daniel Moi, lived under Mwai Kibaki, lived under Uhuru Kenyatta are amazed at the kind of brutality that is being encouraged by officialdom. Madam Speaker, I said yesterday, and I want to repeat it today here, that you may gloat, you may be happy that this injustice is being meted against your so-called opponents. But tomorrow the same injustice will be meted against you. And I can tell you again that however long it takes, the authors of these atrocities, the givers of command, the commanders of these atrocities, the planners of these atrocities will have to be held to account, Madam Speaker. It might take 10 years, it might take 20 years or 30 years or even 100 years, Madam Speaker. We are aware, we know of people who have been tried and convicted posthumously, Madam Speaker. And that will happen one day. So for us, therefore, to move forward as a country, the issues the people are demonstrating against are not about Raila Odinga. They cannot be issues about Raila Odinga. Kenyans are simply tired. Kenyans are simply feeling overburdened. Kenyans are simply feeling pushed to the wall by unjust taxes, by punitive taxes that have been imposed by this regime. So Kenyans are in their right to demonstrate against those unjustified taxation measures. And that is what Kenyans are doing. They will do it today, they will do it tomorrow, they will do it tomorrow but one, and they will do it up next year, whether Raila Odinga is involved or not. And therefore, this unnecessary obsession with one Raila Odinga must stop forthwith. Don't be overly obsessed with Raila Odinga. Deal with the problems that we have in the country. Once you are in power, regardless of how you came to power, it is your duty to solve Kenyan problems, not to scapegoat. Stop scapegoating. Deal with the problems of Kenyans. Stop scapegoating. Stop blaming Raila. Stop blaming Uhuru. And those who are talking about retirement.
Honorable Ruto, Honorable Sergon, Honorable Mureu. Order.
No, leave them for me. I'll deal with them. I can handle them. Madam Speaker, the solution to the current problem is not scapegoating. Face the problems squarely. If I were in power, I would deal with those problems. I would. Okay? But once your policies have failed or seem to be failing, stop venting your anger on helpless and armed Kenyan youth. Those youth you are killing require jobs, not bullets. Those youth that you are killing using the police and the militia require jobs that you promise them. Stop killing them. That is the message Kenyans are sending to you, Kenya Kwanza, Madam Speaker. And that message will be sent to you whether Raila Odinga is involved or not, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me end by saying this. You cannot solve a governance problem by using strong arm tactics, by deploying the police to hunt leaders. No amount of arrests, no amount of incarceration, no amount of intimidation can silence Kenyans, I can tell you. And you have got no enough space in the prisons to jail everybody. You can't. And you have got no enough bullets to kill all Kenyans. I can tell you. You will kill some today, and those who remain will continue to remind you of your failures. So you better go back, relax, and start governing for the time you are in power, before we remove you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yeah.
Order, members. The next chance will go to the member for Thika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, whatever we are discussing today is very important, and we need to address this matter once and for all. Madam Speaker, policemen and policewomen, they are human beings. They also have families at home. It's only that is their job, to be a police person. So when they come outside to protect businesses of people, or even to protect us, if you get a sling and a stone, and you can see that is a policeman in front of you, and then you hit him, don't you know you're also hitting a father or somebody's husband or somebody's child? And you know, when we are discussing about who was killed, as we are discussing how many people are killed, even a policeman is a person, and he doesn't deserve also to be killed. So when we come here to discuss this matter, and there's no way in this nation whoever condone militias to be coming out and taking advantage of demonstration so that they can be able to hurt others. What we saw on television, Madam Speaker, you don't wish anybody. What we saw policemen bleeding, being carried, being taken to the hospital, And it was not fair. If people want to demonstrate according to Article 37, do it in an orderly manner. Don't come out as thugs, criminals, snatching people's handbags, hurting them. It is not fair, Madam Speaker. You know, Madam Speaker, people are supposed to be demonstrating on the road. They are there going to school, hurting school-going children during demonstration. And they say that one is demonstration. Madam Speaker, people even pick a date to demonstrate. They don't care whether in 2 months' time, Form 4s will be sitting for their exams, Class 8 will be sitting for their exam, Grade 6 will be sitting for their exam. They are just there demonstrating. They don't care about anybody else apart from themselves, whatever they want to benefit. But what we are telling them from our side, because we want this seat clean and fair, they sit, relax, enjoy, and they see us, Kenya Kwanza, leading this nation to greater heights. Not coming to the streets of everywhere, damaging roads. Madam Speaker, can you imagine? This road, Madam Speaker, it is the one I use. It is the one they use. When you are sick, the ambulances uses that road. When they are going to the airport, they use that road. And they are here, Madam Speaker, saying it is demonstration. Which demonstration? Destruction, mass destruction. And I haven't seen anybody saying that that was wrong. They are very, very happy. Yeah, come out, they have succeeded. It's only that this time, the policemen and women said enough is enough. No more looting, no more destruction, and that is why people are crying. Policemen did only what they were supposed to be doing. Protect the lives of people and protect the businesses of people. There's nothing else they did. There's nothing wrong that they did. And Madam Speaker, you know, when it came to the maandamano, the ringleaders, they just came on the television, they said, we have 3 days of demonstration. I looked for the leaders who had called for the maandamano. I did not find them anywhere. They came up with a flu, others admitted themselves in police, in the hospitals, others took a trip to far away so that they cannot be held accountable. And they left men now demonstrating on the street. They left militias. Madam Speaker, people who come from my region, they don't want to hear the word militia. We know what it does to people. We know when the militias were there, what it did to our people. These are people who come, when you are on your way home, they attack you, they finish you. And that is exactly, Madam Speaker, what was happening in this town. Killings, people coming out, stealing life. They enter a supermarket. They rob that supermarket. They rob people on the way. And there's nobody who is talking about it. Those people in this town, you can imagine, Madam Speaker, we have just come up from a season of COVID-19. When businesses are starting to pick, then here you close your businesses for 3 days. And if you don't, we saw buses being torched. We saw matatus being torched. It is not fair, and there's nobody who is condemning that. And the leaders are here saying, oh, we are suffering from flu, others they were aware. If you say you are calling for demonstration, come out and lead from front. Anyway, Madam Speaker, let me stop it there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Junet, not ready? Before Honorable Junet, then I'll give to Honorable Korere.
Shukrani, Mheshimiwa Spika, na napenda pia kumshukuru Mheshimiwa Rosa na pia kumpa pole zangu kama mbunge wa Laikipia Kaskazini kwake yeye na wale kina mama wote na wazazi ambao wamepoteza watoto. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, napenda tu kuongea kama mama. Na niseme kwamba Waswahili wanasema mkuki ni mtamu kwa nguruwe, lakini kwa binadamu ni uchungu. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba ndugu zetu wote katika bunge hii, kwa sababu nafikiri lengo na Mheshimiwa Rosa kuwakilisha mswada huu ni ili tujadiliane na kupata njia kabambe ya kuweza kutatua shida iliyo mbele yetu. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, ukweli tuseme ukweli. Unajua uhuni haikubaliki iwapo inatoka kwenye polisi ama iwapo inatoka kwenye raia. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, unajua mara mingi tunakashifu polisi na tunasahau kwamba hawa polisi hawajatolewa nje ya nchi hii, ni sisi tumewazaa. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna shida kubwa sana Kenya tunapozungumza sasa hivi ya watu wengi wamekuwa na kusongwa na mawazo. Kumekuwa na matatizo ya akili. Na polisi hawajasaswa. Pia hao wamekuwa na hiyo shida. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, ningeomba wakati tunaongelelea maneno kama tunayoongelea hapa saa hii, ni vyema tuelewe kwamba kuna wazazi wanalia wamepoteza watoto. Kwa hivyo tusije tukaweka msumari moto kwenye kinonda. Lakini pia ndugu zetu kutoka upande wa upinzani, ningependa kuwaomba kwa heshima, iwapo hawa vijana watakuwa wanakufa kila wiki, jambeni na nyinyi teremsheni kiburi chenu na muweze kusimamisha ya maandamano. Na iwapo hiyo haiwezekani, hakikisheni mara nyingine tukijadiliana hapa wabunge 3 wamepigwa risasi, ile pia tuweze kujua vile nyinyi mtasikia. Lakini unajua Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nilisema mimi nitasema, manake mimi nakuanga Jubilee na sitaki kujua nani atakasirika ama atafurahi vile nitaongea. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nilitazama kwenye runinga na nikajiuliza swali. Mimi nimeshawahi panga maandamano katika eneo bunge langu la Laikipia Kaskazini, nikilalamikia maneno 1-2 ambayo ni tatizo la watu wangu na ni tatizo langu. Na kila wakati Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nimewasha biashara ya bunge hii na mimi mwenyewe nimeongoza hayo maandamano. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, siku moja nilipewa kichapo cha umbwa na polisi. Kwa hivyo pia inastahili sisi kama wabunge, kamati ya usalama na wabunge wengine tuchunguze, tujue haswa polisi walifanya makosa gani na waandamanaji walifanya makosa gani, ili tusije tu tukaanza kuzungumza kufurahisha nafsi zetu na kusahau kwamba iwapo Kenya itachomeka, hamna nchi nyingine mtaita nchi. Kenya ikishomeka, Kenya kwanza imechomeka, Azimio imechomeka. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa tu kuwarai ndugu zetu, tuliweza kuweka mfano mzuri na wa kuigwa katika kanda ya Afrika na dunia nzima wakati tulipiga kura, na iwapo kiongozi wa Azimio hakukubaliana na matamshi ya majaji lakini aliheshimu. Unajua kuna kukubaliana na kuheshimu. Hakukubaliana lakini aliheshimu, na tukaweza kuweka mfano wa kuigwa katika dunia hii. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu, tusije tena, wanasema mgema akisifiwa tembo ulitia maji. Tusije tena tukawa tumeheshimika, punde si punde tumeanza kuharibu ile heshima. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu, mimi nataka kuwaomba, mnapojadili haya, mjadili mkijua wale wamekufa ni watoto wa binadamu, na pia polisi wamekufa. Na kama polisi walikufa, waliuawa na nani? Manake sidhani kuna polisi waliua wenzao. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kusema hivi, kuna makosa yametokea.
Asante Mheshimiwa Korere. Muda wako umeisha. Mheshimiwa Junet.
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Madam Speaker, first I want to bring to the attention of the House. Madam Speaker, we are discussing the National Police Service of the Republic of Kenya. And Madam Speaker, this police service is funded by the taxpayers' money, Madam Speaker. And their allowances and their salaries are paid by Kenyans who are taxpayers, Madam Speaker. And Kenyans are both in that side of the House and this side of the House, Mr. Speaker. We all represent Kenyans, Madam Speaker. The people we represent in this country are also Kenyans. We are not representing here Tanzanians or Ugandans, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, let us not use the floor of this House to create a picture of a partisan police force, Madam Speaker, those police service. We must be careful of that, Mr. Speaker. I expected, when the mover moved the motion, the next thing we should have done in this House, Madam Speaker, is to observe a minute of silence for those people who were killed and who died, Madam Speaker, and who are mortuaries, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, stand up now and serve a purpose of minute for people who are in mortuaries in our constituencies, Madam Speaker. We are just putting on suits here, but we are not happy, Madam Speaker. We are stand up and observe a minute of silence, Madam Speaker. Let's observe a minute of silence.
Order members, take your seats.
Thank you very much.
Take your seats.
Madam Speaker.
Order members, Honorable Junaid, we will do the minute of silence after your contribution.
Okay, thank you. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my time is running. Madam Speaker, the most shocking thing in our country, Madam Speaker, is the way things change. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Madam Speaker, people have been complaining about police force since independence. And a new constitution was brought into this country, Madam Speaker. We changed the police force from the former police commissioner to IG to police service, and the constitution is very clear, Madam Speaker. It's saying national security is subject to authority of this constitution and parliament. Madam Speaker, it is us who are supposed to hold the police force accountable. And that's what we are doing this afternoon, Madam Speaker. This is where they are supposed to be held accountable for their actions and commissions and omissions, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, if we are the ones here who want to defend them as though they are our gardeners or our staff at home, then, Madam Speaker, we are lost. Where else will they be held accountable if it's not on the floor of this House, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, if we don't question on the floor of this House the death of 30 or 40 Kenyans, where else are we going to ask it? In the streets? Madam Speaker, we must take our responsibility as a House very serious. And this is where issues of concern to the nation is discussed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to say this categorically. Personally, where I represent my constituency, we have lost people. And I don't think we have lost these people in the right way. They have died death which was not theirs, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was listening to Honorable Bokose. He said some of the people who were shot from the back. I want to tell you that those people were shot because they were running away from the police. So when you're running away, it is your back that faces the police. It's not your face. When you face them and then they put a tear gas on your face, you run away. When you run away, they shoot you on the back. That is how they died, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me proceed. Madam Speaker, let me ask you something.
What is out of order, Honorable Bokose?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Junaid has, I don't know whether you are being distracted when he was making this allegation.
Which allegation?
That I said the police, the people who were shot from the back. It was Honorable Buyu in her statement that said they were shot from the back. What I said is that if they were shot on the back, it means, and we saw clearly that the demonstrators were throwing stones, meaning the people who shot them were the ones behind them, not the ones who are in front.
Madam Speaker, let me proceed. Madam Speaker, my time is gone.
Honorable Junaid, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, in all these demonstrations, I'm giving you, in all these demonstrations, Madam Speaker, in all the demonstrations that happen in the country, I have not seen any recorded death of stones. There is nobody who has been killed because of throwing stones. People have been killed because of bullets. Who owns the bullets? Is it the public or the police? Madam Speaker, I want to be informed by Honorable Millie. She has something to inform me. Madam Speaker, with your indulgence.
Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Yeah.
Point of order. What is your point of order, member for? Honorable Millie Odhiambo, I don't want us to use points of orders and information to debate. To debate. Honorable member for Madeira, what is out of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on Order 91, which requires a member to substantiate, I believe Honorable Junet is out of order when he says that those who were shot by police officers.
Order, members.
Madam Speaker,
order, members.
It has
order, Honorable Amombi. In fact, what you're debating, Honorable Junet was right to actually quote Honorable Pukose, and Honorable Pukose has put his information proper, because Honorable Rosa had made some allegations, same as Honorable Pukose, and it has been cleared. So let Honorable Junet finish. Yeah.
Madam Speaker, a lot of my time has been... Madam Speaker, let us agree on one thing as a nation. If we don't want Article 37 of the Constitution, let us do a constitutional amendment and we repeal it, so that we don't need it. But so long as that article is in the Constitution, Madam Speaker, that article, people must be allowed to exercise their freedoms and their rights under the Article 37. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, when you go to Article 239, it's very clear, national security organs, in performing the functions and exercising the powers of the national security agents, and every member of the national security organs shall not, one, act in a partisan manner, Madam Speaker. We cannot have a partisan police service, Madam Speaker. That cannot happen in this country, over our watch as members of this House. Secondly, Madam Speaker, further any interest of any political party. If Kenya Kwanza wants to advance their agenda, let them have, like KANU, let them have Kenya Kwanza goons and youth wingers. Let them do that and use that to... You cannot use the police to propagate your agenda, Madam Speaker. That cannot happen. The police is there to protect and defend the rights of every Kenyan. And once that is lost, Madam Speaker, that is the beginning of anarchy in this country. That is the beginning of anarchy, Madam Speaker. Let us not lose that.
Honorable Junet, your time is up. This next chance will go to the Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Maybe, Honorable Speaker, I just begin by telling the Honorable Junet that the Kenya Kwanza government has no desire, has no plans to enlist the services of goons. Yes. Those who enlist the services of goons and anarchy are well known in this country. And I want to join you to say that the police should and must act fairly, objectively, and in line with the law. And with that, I thank the Honorable Rosa Buyu for having brought us this motion. Not necessarily to discuss the police, but to have an opportunity to have a conversation and a debate on violence and the use of violence as currency for political engagement in this country. Honorable Speaker, we've all been very keen to quote Article 37 of the Constitution on the right to picket and demonstrate. But conveniently, our brothers conveniently leave out a very critical part of that provision in the Constitution, that you have the right to demonstrate and picket peaceably and unarmed. Honorable Speaker, what we have witnessed in this country in the last 7 or so months these are not demonstrations. No picketing. What we have witnessed is sheer anarchy. It is riots. It is anarchy. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from the member for Baringo, she will have an opportunity. She can stop contributing. I have a very good brain to be able to make my own contribution. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, it is sheer anarchy. We have witnessed a campaign of people being mobilized into riots, lawlessness, thuggery, robbery at times. We have seen people being robbed in the streets. We have seen shops being looted. We have seen highways, very expensive highways, being destroyed. Newly built roads like ABC running at Kangemi. Honorable Speaker, I saw the other day tires being lit. There is now a pothole in the middle of that highway. Tomorrow, there will be an accident there. And we'll all be crying, oh, why is the ministry not doing this? What about the person who lit a tire to destroy that public infrastructure? I remember last term, when President Uhuru Kenyatta said, as he commissioned the Nairobi-Naivasha Railway, that any person who destroyed public infrastructure, he will not hesitate. In fact, if I quote, he said, haki ya Mungu, nitaweka sahihi anyongwe. I'm not saying anybody, President Ruto should sign for those who destroy the expressway to be hanged or to be executed. But I'm saying we must be responsible as leaders. We are using heavy words today here, and that's why I took great exception to the use of the term genocide by the Honorable Samuel Atandi. We have used words like communities are being targeted. The Luo nation is under siege. It is being targeted. Honorable Speaker, it is true. There have been these violent riots, and I must hesitate from using the word demonstrations because there have not been a single incident of a demonstration or picketing until yesterday. And I must commend a group I saw in Kisii County yesterday, holding vigil, and they peaceably, and unarmed. Hopefully it's Irene Mayaka who was leading them. And I want to encourage you, Irene, go back and lead them again to peaceably have a procession peacefully. And they made their point without a single person getting injured, without a single person getting shot, without a single stone having been hurled at any policeman. That is the kind of country we should be building. Honorable Speaker, I dare ask, Honorable Speaker, how much violence is enough?
Honorable Ishungwa, Leader of Majority, do you want to be informed by Honorable Catherine Omai?
She has no capacity, Honorable Speaker. She has no capacity to inform me on anything, on any subject. Honorable Speaker, I was asking, how much violence is enough? How much bloodshed, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, I believe you will protect me from this unnecessary noise. Honorable Speaker, I was asking, how much violence is enough? How much bloodshed is enough? And I say this because I see a number of you from leaders from Luo Nyanza. And I want to look at you straight in the eye and ask you how much blood, how many liters of blood is enough? How many body count, how much body count do you want us to count for us to say enough is enough? Honorable Speaker, the mover of this motion Honorable Speaker, I am posing...
Honorable Otiende, what is out of order?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I think the Leader of Majority was progressing quite well, even though the motion is about police conduct, but he's made it political, but that is discretion. But is it in order for the Leader of Majority to now single a single community and talk of blood as if he's imputing that the Luo community have spilled blood, when it is actually the Luo community who are bearing the brunt of all violence in this country in every year? Could he please withdraw that statement?
Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from Rosa Buyu, Honorable Speaker, or can you, Honorable Speaker, can you allow Honorable Rosa Buyu,
Honorable members,
to say what she's saying on record so that she's not shouting?
We shall not address members across the aisle. If you need to catch the speaker's eye, you know what to do. Honorable Rosa Buyu, Honorable Millie Odhiambo, do not shout across the floor.
Honorable Speaker.
You are out of order.
Honorable Speaker, you know I have tremendous respect for Senior Counsel Otiende Amolo because he listens and responds as we should do in a debating chamber, not shouting. And I must clarify to Honorable Otiende Amolo, I was speaking to the leadership from Luo Nyanza. And I was asking, we must come to a time now when we say enough is enough. that we cannot continue mobilizing people for riots in the name of Article 37 of the Constitution, then we cry foul. Honorable Speaker,
Honorable,
last week,
order, majority.
will I have time?
Honorable,
I hope you will add my time.
Honorable Ward Chief, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, in this House, I hardly interrupt people. But some positions need to be respected. Know what you are saying, how you are saying it, and to who. This thing is not about Luos. Is it in order to say what is saying and profiling Luo here, and on the same vein, you are sending Atandia out? Must he not also be subjected to the same standard? Shame.
Honorable Speaker, some of these things are not necessary to respond to, because if someone keenly listens to what I'm speaking to, they will get my point.
Other members, I really will actually engage and indulge us to actually just observe decorum, because I have had an Honorable Tiende Amolo, you can confirm that this came from this side of my left initially. But I would request honorable members that we observe our standing orders, don't cast aspersion to leaders, and do not get out of topic. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for bringing order back to the House, because I was saying anyone who is keenly listening to what I'm saying, I was responding to the calls or the use of the terms like genocide, like targeting of communities.
We already ruled on that, Majority Leader.
And that is what, Honorable Speaker, I was responding to.
Yeah.
So those who are getting what I'm not saying, and Honorable Speaker, I was saying, as leaders, whether from Kiambu, whether from Luo Nyanza, we must now begin taking responsibility. I like what Honorable Sarah Korere said, that you can indeed lead your people in a demonstration, peaceably and unarmed. Honorable Speaker, last week, in Kangemi, there were people firing gunshots at the police. Honorable Speaker, in Mlolongo, in Kitengela, there was use of firearms by people who are not policemen. Honorable Speaker, we have used heavy terms like militia. And I remember when KJ, Honorable Speaker, can you protect me? Because there are only 3 members, Honorable Speaker, you have capacity to protect me.
Other members, we have done very well until this point. So let us not shout across the floor. If you want to put an intervention, you know what to do, honorable members.
You know, Honorable Speaker, I have been here long enough to know these tactics.
What is out of order?
Information. What about it? He's also making allegations against the public without
Other members, you know I have listened to all of you. These allegations have come from both sides of the House. I have had people who say they were shot from the back, others from the front, others the police were shot. So if we are going to make progress, honorable members, let us be keen on what we present. Honorable Ishungwa,
Honorable Speaker, you know I never stand here to say careless things. There was a report, Honorable Speaker, that was released the day before yesterday by the Ministry of Interior that is in public record that 158 police vehicles have been destroyed, 305 officers injured, 1 policeman killed. Honorable Speaker, when I said there was fire towards the police in Kangemi, Indeed, I happened to be in the vicinity that day, attending a funeral, Honorable Speaker, in a church. And the Honorable KJ, because I was with the Honorable KJ, he can tell you, as we waited, policemen had to take cover because there were gunshots coming from the crowd. Honorable Speaker, when the Honorable Pio and I was challenged on the use of the word militia, I want to state that it is indeed true. There has been a militia that has been used in these riots that have purported to be demonstrations. Honorable Speaker, you saw even our mainstream media houses cover incidences in Kitengela, where members of the public were alluding to the fact that all the people who were purportedly demonstrating in Kitengela were outsiders who were ferried into Kitengela using public service vehicles.
Order, members.
And you must add me time, Honorable Speaker.
Order, members. I know so many of us want to speak, and I want to confirm we have a lot of time for everyone to speak. We have an hour and a half to go. So we will speak. So we will give the majority leader to wind up, because your time is up, majority
Honorable
leader.
Speaker, you will add me the time that I have been disrupted. And I had time, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, if you listen to the people in Kitengela, saying that people were brought in to Kitengela in the morning, the violence that was meted out in Mlolongo was never by the people of Mlolongo or Mavoko, but it's outsiders who were brought in. Honorable Speaker, when you speak about militia, we know the militia and criminal gangs that have been used politically in this country since time immemorial. You know who
What
dons
is out of order,
the Mungiki sect and Mungiki militia. You
Mr.
know
Speaker,
who works
my
with them.
point of order is this.
You know who...
Well, my point of order is this, Mr. Speaker.
Order. What is out of order, Honorable Junet?
Madam Speaker, my point of order is this, with a tremendous respect to the majority leader. Madam Speaker, he's alluding to here that there were people who were ferried from outside to Kitengela. Madam Speaker, the question I wanted to ask is, what kind of inept and useless government is he running not to know that people were ferried at night there to go and cause havoc, and he's just sleeping? He's a majority leader. He should have known it by night, Madam Speaker.
Order, members. Order, members. I don't remember Honorable Ishungwa being the intelligence boss or anything like that, but please continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, I allow Honorable Junet because he's a serious leader and he will never shout for nothing. He will state things, but the day I run a government, you will get to know. Now I'm not running one, Honorable Junet. But I was saying, Honorable Speaker, these are facts that I'm speaking to, that there have been people who have been mobilized, criminal elements, and the police must deal with all criminals, whether within the political circles or outside the political circles, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I was saying in Mlolongo, Honorable Speaker, when people were demolishing the expressway, and Honorable Junet knows where he was, and he knows that.
Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. If you have put an intervention, kindly remove. I'm not even able to pick who is doing the point of order. So please remove, because we are following the main list, so that I'm able to tell who has an intervention.
But his time is up. His time is up.
Order, members. Honorable Otiende, are you on a point of order? No. You're waiting to talk. All right. Honorable Kamket, are you on a point of order? If you're waiting to speak, I will not give anyone now on a point of intervention. Majority Leader, please, you have 1 minute. Wind up.
Honorable Speaker, it's rather unfair to give me a minute and not allow me to speak when Honorable Millie Odhiambo continues shouting. But I was saying this, Honorable Speaker, because you are shouting for me not to tell you the truth, but I'll speak the truth to you as leaders from Luo Nyanza,
You must lead from the front. You must stop mobilizing your people to death. You must say enough is enough and no more bloodshed. How many liters of blood do you want? For you to be able to negotiate yourselves in power, you shall no longer use bloodshed to negotiate yourselves into power. No more bloodshed in this country to negotiate yourselves.
Order. Order, members. Order. Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. Order Irene Mayaka, Honorable Mbaka, Honorable Irene Joki, take your seats. Take your seats. Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, take your seat. Honorable Kawanjiko, order, take your seat. Honorable John Paul, take your seat. Honorable Amashukuru, take your seat. Honorable Dorothy Mudhoni, take your seat. Honorable Janet, take your seat. Honorable Honorable Yagon, take your seat. Honorable Mokami Mashinani, take your seat. No. Honorable Catherine, take your seat. Honorable Mishiboko, take your seat. Order, members. 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 On the request of Honorable Junet, we are going to stand up for a moment of silence. And that one is now authorized by the House. Order. Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. Honorable Fatuma, Honorable Fatuma, Honorable Kawanjiko, silence. Order, members. This moment of silence is for everybody. For the police, for the others, all of them. Order. Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. Order, Honorable Rosa Buyu. This is your motion. This is your motion. This is your motion. This is your motion. Take your seats, honorable members. Take your seats. Order, members, we'll continue with this motion. Order, members. Order. Order. Order, members. Order, members. We have a lot of interest on this motion, and we want to give members time to ventilate on this motion because it is important. So I ask all of you to maintain decorum in the House. Majority Leader, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for bringing us back to order. I was going to conclude, Honorable Speaker, and say that we must, as leaders, declare that enough is enough. No more blood should be shed in this country. No more blood should be used as a currency for political negotiations. And for the record, Honorable Speaker, and as government spokesperson in this House, I want to say for the record, even with the bloodshed, Honorable Speaker, there shall be no handshake. We shall not allow people to use bloodshed, violence, and anarchy as currency for political negotiations. Honorable Speaker,
your time is up. Your time is up. Order. Order, members. Order, members. There is a lot of interest on this motion, and I want many of us to contribute. So the next chance will go to the member for Makueni, Honorable Susan Kiamba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to make my contribution on this very important motion. Thanking Rose Ombuyu Mheshimiwa for bringing it to the floor of the House, because foremost, I think I am among the members who have come to the Parliament for the first time. And the one reason why I wanted to come to Parliament, because I've been in the community development, I wanted to come to a place where at one button we can institutionalize change. I came to Parliament because I thought Parliament is the place where if you want this country to change, at a split of a second, we agree on something and it changes the whole country. So, Madam Speaker, listen, I'm contributing to this motion. So basically, Madam Speaker, in this particular country,
Honorable Wako, what is out
all
of
the
order?
members in this particular...
Honorable Susan, order.
What's wrong? I'm not saying anything. Thank you. What is the Speaker? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you for giving me the mic, Madam Speaker. I wouldn't want to interrupt my friend, Mheshimiwa, but what she's saying, you know, it is true that this is a place to come and reason, debate, so that we can bring changes. But how can we do that, Madam Speaker, when others interfere with you, make noise like my good friend Millie Odambo, make noise? How
can we debate soberly when we cannot?
Honorable Wako. No. Honorable Wako. If Honorable Wako, what is your point of order? Because Honorable Millie Odhiambo shouting across the aisle is actually out of order, but Honorable Susan Kiamba was going very well. So let Honorable Member for Makueni continue.
Yes. Thank you. Madam Speaker, thank you for your protection. And basically, what I was saying, we are very privileged, 349 people to make decisions for 40 million Kenyans. We are very privileged. We are among the most educated Kenyans. We have the best exposure courtesy of our communities. And I think this is
Honorable Member for Makueni, address the chair. Address the chair.
Madam Chair, this is, by those particular statistics I've already given you, this presents a house of honor, a house of respect, a house representing all the Kenyans, despite the political divide. When a Kenyan dies, there is no blood that is UDA, there is no blood that is ODM, there is no blood that is Kenya Kwanza. All blood is red and all blood is for Kenyan citizens. Yes. Madam Honorable Speaker, I am very disappointed when I see honorable members thinking the death of any Kenyan, whether the Kenyan is coming from Makueni, whether the Kenyan is coming from Luoland, whether the Kenyan is coming from Kikuyu, and death of any Kenyan must worry us as representatives. So when deaths of people do not worry us, Madam Speaker, I feel as a person, I feel as a house, we are degrading our status that this nation has actually given to us to make decisions on behalf of the 50 million Kenyans. Madam Speaker, I once worked in South Sudan and I thought it was crazy when one time I took my colleague who had an accident to a mediation place by the government. And the person who was mediating said, "We are going to jail you, Kenyan, because if you did not leave Kenya, this accident would not have happened." I thought that was very absurd until I heard it, Madam Speaker, in this honorable house. When somebody says, you would not have been killed if you were not on the street. I think there is no law in this country. There is no law in this country even that allows anybody to be killed because you were found somewhere
stealing. What is out of order, Leader of Majority?
There are methods that actually can be used.
Honorable Speaker,
continue?
The member on her feet is quoting.
What is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, I was waiting for the ones who have a trophy in shouting to finish shouting, then I articulate my point of order. The member who was on her feet, clearly articulating very good points about incidences in South Sudan, is alleging that a member, without naming that member, and if I remember, Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from these ones. Honorable Speaker, the member who spoke about that, the member who spoke about people being mobilized, Honorable Speaker, was Honorable Pukose. I also alluded to the fact that there are people who are mobilizing people to riot. And nobody alluded to the fact, Honorable Speaker, that if you are not in the street, you will not be shot. Because you have the right to protest, but you must do so peaceably.
Order.
When you have Mungiki to go and terrorize people in Kitengela, those are people who must be dealt with in line with the law.
Majority
Therefore,
Leader,
Honorable Speaker,
that is a point for debate. That is a point for debate. Honorable Member for Makueni. Wait for the microphone. Wait for the microphone.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your protection. And I think I'm making a very strong point. Even a Kenyan who is found on stealing, the first point is not to kill the Kenyan. Yes. We have trained police who can arrest, yes, who can actually do anything else apart from stealing, apart from killing. I think the last option that a Kenyan police has is to kill, and in very rare circumstances. I find it very difficult.
What is your point?
Madam Speaker, I find it very difficult when anybody justifies killing,
honorable member,
like in breaking cups.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. It is important to inform.
Is it a point of information?
It's a point of order, Madam Speaker, that the police have the right to defend their rights as well. The police have the cardinal right to defend their rights.
Members, what is out of order? Order, members. Order, members.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Order, members. What is your point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Hold on, Honorable Susan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is the Honorable in order, Madam Speaker, when he alleges that, when he justifies the fact that people have been called to demonstrate and therefore they have a right to be there and they have a right to be shot by police. I think that's what I had said. And they congratulate
Honorable member, Honorable member for Endebed.
And they congratulate Lut.
Honorable members, at the start of this sitting, Senior Counsel Otiende Amolo raised a very important point to the Speaker: abuse of points of orders. So please, if something is not out of order, let let the members to finish. What is out of order? What is out of order?
Madam Speaker, under your watch, there has been perennial an observance of the roles of this House. Madam Speaker, there is a reason why standing orders provide instruments with which members can bring issues to the floor. Heckling is not one of the instruments, Madam Speaker. So if any individual wants to prosecute a matter, there is a reason why they brought this adjournment motion. You cannot use unconventional instruments on this House while you're the sponsor of the adjournment motion. If you wanted to prosecute the matter by heckling, you could have heckled elsewhere. You cannot sponsor an adjournment motion and heckle through the...
Honorable KJ, order members, you have made your point, but I want to agree with you. The heckling is unparliamentary, it is out of order. And let me finish. This heckling, order members, this heckling is not a preserve of one side. So I would really request both sides to maintain decorum. Member for Makueni, please continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your continued protection. And I think all of us should agree in unison that in this country, when we talk about police brutality, whether it is something we should actually look at. Yes.
You're done. Thank you. Honorable members. What? Order members. Order members. Order members. The point of information has to be allowed by the Speaker and the member, but her time is already up. Order members. The next chance, what? Order members. Order members. I want, Honorable Susan, I'll give you 1 minute. Wind up and make sure you use it to wind up, and then I'll give to the
my last comment. If you look at the people who were killed, if you do analysis, you will find they were in the ages of 13 to 23. Anybody who has ever attended a unit of sociology knows how young people behave anytime there is commotions. Already, when you kill somebody on that age, people were just going, some of them out, like in my constituency. The young man was fetching water and he went to just check. So how can our police force that we have employed continue killing young people as young as 13 to 23? We have all the data. So I think, Madam Speaker, I think this House...
What is the point of order? Honorable Ruto.
I think this House, with all due respect, I think in this House, we should raise up to the occasion and be accountable, make the police accountable to this House. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Is it in order for the honorable member to allege that police shot at a 13-year-old child? I mean, in that case, where did the 13-year-old child appear in the demonstration and destruction? Because the point where police met with the demonstrators is where there was destruction. So in this case, where was the 13? Those are allegations, and it should be substantiated according to the standing order. Because it's an honorable House, it should not go on record that a 13-year-old child has been alleged to have been shot in a demonstration. And then someone has to take responsibility. Why do you bring children to the demonstration? Thank you.
Order, Honorable Irene Mayaka. Shouting across the aisle will not be permitted. Let us maintain decorum. All of us will get to speak. The next chance I'll give to the Honorable Member for Buri, Honorable Rindikiri Mogambi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to pick from the point that death is death. And I'm not used to making allegations, but when I was in the farm in Narok, one of my shops was being raided in Kitengela. And as a community of businessmen in Kitengela, we were very keen to give instruction to check the people who are demonstrating. And it was very clear there's nobody from Kitengela who participated in those demonstrations. There are people who came, strangers, and they did what they did. What we want to ask ourselves, and we should not play only thou to please our masters. What we need to analyze is who organized these gangs to go and terrorize people's businesses. We need to analyze. It's true you have the freedom to demonstrate, but it is incumbent upon the arrangements and the organizers of the demonstration or picketing to ensure, from their perspective, there is law and order. Madam Speaker, we are trivializing issues here. I don't believe in shouting. Where I come from, we don't shout. We listen and we speak. Madam Speaker, let people not members here think that others who are quiet, they know nothing. And shouting is not a preserve of certain people. We are here as a house of decorum, and we are addressing an issue that has been brought forward by a member. What am I saying? We are in a situation where people must learn to say the truth. And we must start with the truth. The demonstration taking place has nothing to do with the cost of living. My observation, and I beg for attention, it is dread post-election violence which has been given time to prepare for the way forward. We all know, we have vast information. We have more deeper information. All of us, including Junet. The master organizers are known to Junet. The masters of the police, they are known to the police. So, when we come here and we play to the gallery, the matter is very serious, and we must go to the root cause of this problem. We must address where these people came from and who organized, who funded. We have to know why somebody who lives in Kisumu, works in Kisumu, is killed in Kitengela. We have to know who organized and made that 13-year-old boy to go and destroy Express Highway. It's not simultaneous. It's not something that just happened. It's not something. Madam Abuya, I have a lot of respect for you. And can I finish? You executed your case.
I will give a point of order to Honorable Buyu. What is out of order? The microphone.
Is the honorable member right in intimating that if a person is born somewhere and lives there, that is the place they should die or be killed, when we know that in Kenya there's freedom of association, you can go anywhere, you can carry business anywhere, and if that finds you in another place, there's no crime in that. Is it in order? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, with all due respect.
Do you want to be informed by the majority leader?
Honorable Speaker, I wanted to inform the Honorable Rindikiri that it is true, people who work, live, and were ferried using PSVs to Kitengela. Those are facts that speak for themselves. And what Honorable Rindikiri is asking is true. We must know who mobilized them. And that is why I was telling Rosa Buyu, you cannot mobilize people in Kisumu to come and cause chaos in Nairobi, then
Majority
start
leader,
behaving,
information is to
pretending that you are now crying for them.
Order.
They are the mobilizer.
Order,
And killing.
Order. Majority leader, the information was to go to Honorable Rindikiri. Honorable Rindikiri, you have 1 minute. Wind up.
Madam Speaker, we have to know, and let's not pretend. Madam Speaker.
What is out of order?
Madam Speaker,
Honorable Juliet.
I need to proceed. Wait, because the...
Hold on, Honorable Rindikiri. Honorable Juliet, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker.
Order. Order. Honorable Buyu, Honorable Wamombi. Order.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Juliet.
Madam Speaker, can I say something? Madam Speaker, if I was to listen to what the majority leader said, that there are people who have been ferried to Kitengela and main people. The question I want to ask in this house today is, who ferried people to Northland, to the farm of Uhuru Kenyatta? Madam Speaker, is it not the same
Madam
people?
Speaker, can I proceed?
Is it not the same people who ferried people to Kitengela, Madam Speaker? And I'm reliably informed.
Madam Speaker.
These are people who are in government, Madam Speaker, who are ferrying people.
Madam Speaker.
Order, members.
Madam Speaker, we cannot introduce...
Order, honorable members. The leader of majority was on a point of order. He was not contributing. So you will not react to the point of order. Honorable Rindikiri.
Madam
Rindikiri,
Speaker,
that was a point of information.
My 3 minutes have gone. Madam Speaker, the other question that we need to ask ourselves, how can a civilian walk into a police station, destroy the vehicle, destroy the family, and expect the police to keep quiet? Madam Speaker, I cannot believe that the police can destroy themselves, they can kill themselves. There is an attempt to have organized criminals by the want demonstrations, and that's exactly what happened. These people have destroyed police stations in Kisumu, they have destroyed police stations in Homa Bay, they have destroyed police stations in Migori. And this is the attempt.
Madam Speaker, I'm on a point of order.
What is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, is it really in order for the Speaker on the floor to be allowed to go on and on to profile members of the Luo community and to be aided by the leader of majority? Is this House going to allow Is this house going to turn itself into a forum or arena for profiling the Luo community? So that we know and we deal with it. Madam Speaker, are you allowing that?
Order, members.
Are you allowing this house to become a forum or arena for vilifying the Luo community?
Members.
Is that the policy of this government? Is it one of the policies of this government to profile the Luo community? Tell us what we can deal with you.
Order, members.
Yes.
Order, members. Order, members. This is a house of record. Honorable Rindikiri. Honorable Rindikiri. I know members are saying I don't allow points of orders, but it is a right by the standing orders, but I will not allow frivolous points of order because many members want to contribute. Honorable Rindikiri, you will wind up, and I will give to the next person.
Madam Speaker, I am not talking about things that are not documented by the government. The statistics of police installation destruction by the so-called demonstration, there we will produce it in this house so that people can say whether how come that the police stations in other sectors of this country were never destroyed? How come all of them are in one region? What are we talking about? We can pretend for now, but the fact remains that we have statistics of the police.
Order, members. Honorable Rindikiri, your time is up. Order. Order, members. Let us keep the decorum of this house. I'm also struggling to hear, so that when you raise a point of order, I know what the member said, because you're making too much across the aisle. There is no one on the floor, good people. Allow me to give the next opportunity to the Chair, Security Committee, Honorable Tongoyo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I think I want to really appreciate Mheshimiwa Buyu, who is a member of my committee, for bringing a very important motion. And I'd expected members really to approach this with a lot of decorum and adhere to the standing procedures and the standing orders of this House. Madam Speaker, I want to start by passing my condolences to the families of people affected.
What is out of order?
No, Madam Speaker, I wanted to indulge I wanted to seek your indulgence whether we should treat, Madam Speaker, I was saying whether we should treat the chairman of the Security Committee in the House, the Honorable Tongoyo, as a suspect or as a member who's contributing. Because he's the chairman of the committee that oversights the police. So where do we place him as a suspect?
Order, Honorable Junet. Even the mover of this motion is a member of the same committee. You know, let us not go there, because even Honorable Rosa is a member of the committee. So Honorable Tongoyo, please continue.
Madam Chair, I think we should ignore that, because as you alluded, then even the member who brought the motion should be treated as well, if that is the case. Madam Speaker, I've just said we should really, I'd expected members really to pay attention, because it's an important subject. And Madam Speaker, it's true, we all have witnessed what really happened. Protect me, Madam Speaker.
Please take your seat.
So, I think...
Honorable Millie, what is your point of order?
Chair, I'd actually tried to get your attention even earlier, but you had not seen. And my point of order, actually, I'm not even too
There's no point of order. She has no point of order.
Almost 5 times.
Is that a point of order?
Is that a point of order?
Honorable Millie Odhiambo, I have given you this microphone not once. Order, Honorable Millie. Order, Honorable Millie. Honorable Millie Odhiambo, you're an experienced member of this House. I have already given you the microphone, so I will just ignore that and continue with Honorable Tongoyo.
Yeah.
Call the suspect.
Do you want to be informed?
Yes.
By the leader of majority.
You know, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to inform the Honorable Tongoyo to ignore Honorable Millie because she says she knows me. And I know what she's alluding to. And I am not interested. Number two, Honorable Speaker, the leader of minority justifiably said we must not turn this house or this debating chamber into a chamber for profiling a particular community. And I agree completely with Honorable Pio Wandai. And that is what I was pleading when I spoke to the leadership in Luo Nyanza, especially the mover of this motion, being a member of the Security Committee chaired by the Honorable Tongoyo, that you must not profile your own people because Kisumu is home to thousands of Kenyans, not Luos. It is no coincidence also, Honorable Rosa Buyu, that Kitengela is also home to many Kenyans, not one particular community. Therefore, I just want to inform Honorable Tongoyo that in his Committee on Security, he must also deal with the leaders who are profiling their own communities.
Honorable Tongoyo, continue. Honorable, you will not stand. Take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat. In fact, I have only two people who have put interventions here. So please, Honorable Tongoyo, continue.
Switch off this mic.
Honorable Harrison Kombe, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, would I be in order to ask the chair, to ask those people rising on points of order to state which standing order they are standing for? Thank you.
Honorable Chepkonga, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, I hope Honorable Kombe knows that I'm a lawyer and I know what I'm doing. Two, Madam Speaker, this house has degenerated into chaos because we have refused to follow standing orders. Standing order number 87 is very clear. No one should rise without stating on which standing order it is. And Madam Speaker, I now rise on standing order number 87 as read together with standing order number 34. Madam Speaker, there is no quorum in this house. We cannot continue debating very serious matters when there's no quorum. There's no quorum. Number 35, standing order 35. No, standing order 35. Madam Speaker, if at any time after the chair is taken or when the house is in the committee, there is no quorum, there is nothing to fear. There is no quorum in the house. And you know, I am a person who believes in order. There is no...
Order members. Order members. A member has risen in his position under standing order number 35. And I will therefore order the sergeant at arms to ring the bell for 10 minutes.
First of all, has to establish that we have no numbers. Yeah, you have to order that we ascertain.
Sergeant at arms, ascertain the numbers in the house. Sergeant at arms, ascertain the numbers.
actually, but the numbers stand at 44 now. Normally, once the standing order is point of order is raised on that standing order, you order that you ascertain the number. Once you ascertain the number, they are not less, they are not enough. You order for the bell to be rung.
That's what I was asking.
Yes, yeah.
Before I sent the bell, because I wanted to get the number. Then the sergeant was saying you are not there.
Yeah, he has just confirmed they are 44. Because you ordered for the bell to be rung, and I'm not hearing it. I'm still pleading. I know.
I'm my own distinct points. In fact, I'm a
The business of the National Assembly is currently on. What we have on the floor at the moment is a quorum bell on, directed by Honorable Martha Wangari, currently presiding over the business of the National Assembly at the moment. And remember, the National Assembly at about 2 hours ago or thereabout adjourned the normal business of the House to discuss a motion on matters police brutality brought to the House by Honorable Rosa Buyu, where members of the National Assembly have been ventilating on the aspect of police brutality in the country. After the discussion on this particular motion, a member rose on a point of order, informing the chair that the House lacked quorum to sort of carry on with its business this evening, and that informed the directive by the Speaker to direct the Sergeant at Arms to ring the Quorum bell for about 6 minutes. And this particular Quorum bell that is currently on is to allow for members of Parliament to make their way back into the chamber so that the House commences with its business. And remember, the House is currently debating a motion on matters police brutality. This is a motion that has divided the House right in the middle, as members of the opposition as well as the majority side sort of debate, agree and disagree on this aspect of police brutality. We've had members of the Kenya Kwanza wing led by the majority leader, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, expressing reservations in regards to the recent demonstrations by the opposition, and that is AZIMIO la Umoja One Kenya coalition, raising concerns over the nature of the opposition, over what the government says is equal to anarchy, and those particular demonstrations were not in line with Article 37 of the Constitution that gives members of the public the rights to demonstrations. According to the leaders from the Kenya Kwanza wing of the National Assembly, the opposition in one way or another went against the provisions of the Constitution in the manner in which members of the public as well as the politicians from the AZIMIO la Umoja One Kenya carried out their demonstrations. Members say that those particular demonstrations went ahead to destroy lives, property, and that is against the provisions of the constitutions in regards to how members of the public are supposed to carry out protests. Away from what members of the Kenya Kwanza wing allege, we've had members of the opposition also having their chance on the floor, speaking into this particular issue. And of importance to note is that members of the opposition allege and are accusing the state of somewhat politicizing the police service, which they claim is a dangerous trend if we allow the country to go to that particular route. The opposition further claims that its members were just going on with their business of demonstrating against a number of factors, among them the cost of living, and what they were getting from members of the police service was aspects of brutality, being maimed, and so forth. And what they want is for the government to explain if the aspect of members of the security is...
Order, members. Member for Starehe, member for Embakasi. Order, members. Order, members. We have not attained the required numbers, and therefore we will all be upstanding, honorable members. And the time being 6:21 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, 1st August 2023 at 2:30 p.m.